Tage grau. Verlier Geduld, Verstand und Haare. Ich hätte gerne eine Frau und die Hoffnung will mir schwinden, eine Partnerin zu finden, die mir ebenbürtig ist. Nein, da ist kein Glück in Sicht. Sie muss nicht schön sein, sie muss nicht klug sein, nein, sie muss nicht reich sein, kein Modell mit langen Schritten, doch dicken Titten. Wie eine stetig offene Wunde, aus der Seele tropft das Blut. Einzig Trost sind kleine Hunde. Ein feines Fräulein wäre gut. Ein feines Fräulein wäre toll. Ich bin auch gar nicht anspruchsvoll. Ich bin auch gar nicht wählerisch. Am Ende der Geschichte muss sie nicht schön sein, sie muss nicht klug sein, nein, sie muss nicht reich sein, doch um eines möchte ich bitten, dicke Titten. Ich bin auch gar nicht anspruchsvoll, doch große Brüste wären toll. Sie muss nicht schön sein, sie muss nicht klug sein, sie muss nur reich sein an Fettgewebe. Bitte, bitte, sie wird nichts bei mir vermissen, sie braucht mich auch gar nicht küssen, braucht mich nicht mit Rauben laben, sie muss nur Riesentitten haben. Dicke Titten.
Wait, how are we gonna do this? Real quick. 1, 3, 2, 1. Boom, guys! Look, all right, we're live. We're just gonna do it like this because literally we have to explain this real quick to the chat. 1 second. How do I do this? Give me a heckin' frickin' second, guys. Where is it? Where is it? All right, guys. Hello there. This is SVENSTREAMS. We are live right now at an ungodly hour. I am here with Roland. Is your name, right? Oh, wait, let me turn on your chat audio, guys. Can you let me know if you guys can hear Roland properly? He is he's the head developer of The Great Rebellion, which is a video game that's on Steam right now. That's right, yeah.
That is correct. It is on Steam. Unless you're in Germany, then it's not on Steam because it has been banned there.
I was about to say. Apparently, your game is banned in Germany. Now we will get into this. Now I have to address first. We are literally live at the most ungodly hour. Roland and I tried to get this together for a couple of weeks now. As you guys know, I am in Southeast Asia. He's in Austria, I believe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, well, this was just a time that we figured out. Now, people can catch us on the VOD, I guess. But yeah, I wanted to interview you and talk to you about a little bit about this stuff because I think we've ran into some similar problems in our creative ventures here.
I guess so.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe just quickly for everyone to introduce myself. Yeah, as you already said, I'm the lead dev of The Great Rebellion. We have a little, let's call it a game development collective / studio called Cult Games, and we made this game it's
have
like a
that right here.
roguelike.
You do like game
Cyberpunk.
jams, right? You do like game jams.
Yeah, we
like
also did that, yeah.
anti-DEI?
Exactly. We also do game jams where we, where like people make mini games over a few days or weeks or something, and some fun stuff has been made there. There's like you can check out the games if you scroll down. There's like one of my favorites is the Epstein Island.
Yeah, that looks really good. I might have to do a let's play of that one time.
Or the hiring manager is also pretty good, where you have to like get as many diverse people on a college as possible, and you have to like sort them by hair color and whatever piercings and whatnot.
Yeah, I like that idea.
For body positivity, that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're making these kinds of games, but not just these games. Some of the games are also like not really political. It's just whatever people want to make.
Yeah. Now, could you talk a little bit closer to the microphone? Because I don't know if the chat, can you guys hear him properly? Hopefully you can, because I piped him all the way up. Can you give me a one in the chat if you can hear him? All the 10 people that are in our chat right now.
Is that maybe better now?
Okay, it is a little better for me at least.
Because I have this mic and my I have a 4-year-old kid and he's absolutely fascinated by the mic because it glows, right? So he always wants to play around and he has changed the settings.
Okay, yeah, no worries. That's how kids are. But yeah, so you guys have been banned in Germany. Now, it used to be, the way I know Germany, but I'm from the Netherlands, so we're closely,
okay.
Originally, I'm from the Netherlands, but the way I know Germany, historically, they were sort of like the stalwart against communism, it seems. But nowadays, they're like at the forefront of it.
Well, that was a long,
forgotten time.
Nowadays it's. They have this law. It's called. They have this thing. It's called the Index or the List of Youth Endangering Media, and that's been a long-standing thing in Germany for many decades. Actually, that a lot of computer games got put on that index, and it's like they're not outright banned, but you can't buy them in regular shops anymore. They're like not available to minors. You are not allowed to advertise for them. So that's been a long thing. For instance,
is this Doom, like akin to that thing that they did in the United States when Mortal Kombat came out and like the evangelical Christians started banning stuff like that? Is it similar to that? Is it more or less strict than that one?
It's actually more strict because I don't exactly know how it's in America, but like has stuff been actually like banned in the sense that you are absolutely not allowed to own it? Or has it just been taken out of stores
I
or something?
remember it was like this game. What was that game calling it where you're like a Klans member lynching black people or something?
I don't know.
I think they'll ban stuff like that. Now, again, listen, if you're new here, I'm a free speech absolutist, especially when it comes to art. Anything goes except for probably like child porn and stuff like that, but that goes without saying. I think that's where
I'm generally completely with you there. Of course, I live in Austria, and there are very strict laws regarding many things. So I, obviously will always only act within the legal frame of the country I live in.
As long as you're not promoting violence, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, can I do? I need to do a little bit of quick housekeeping real quick before I forget, because I was just on Comicsgate stream just 1 hour ago, actually, for those of you who missed it. Everybody missed this, too. My whole audience is asleep, it seems. Nobody was here. But I was here with Ethan Van Sciver again. He sent me a link. I was on the Comicsgate stream here for 4 hours. Then I hopped off to get more beers. And now I'm here with the great Roland, right? Or Roland, how you say that in Austrian? Roland, yeah. I'm here with the great Roland of the Great Rebellion. I did this, and if you watch this stream, he shows I did like a comic for him. He's doing like a book with like where
I know what that is.
Yeah, he recontextualizes like old Brothers Grimm style fairy tales, and I made and by the way, I made this book. I got 8 pages in this book, and I did it within 1 week. I finished 8 pages. I did all this within 1 week. Well, let me fast forward this a little bit.
Yeah, your art looks really, really cool. Like after.
Thank you so much. So it's like instead of Geppetto, it's Geppetto. Get it?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, and he wants to be Pinocchio's mother in this, and he has to call him mommy. And it's a story about lies, basically. So yeah, we had to it was tasked with like recontextualizing a fairy tale. You know what my favorite German fairy tale is?
Which one?
Der Giftpilz.
Uh,
No.
is that a fairy tale?
Okay, never mind.
I think I know that from a different context. But.
Well, you know what it is, though. I'm gauging how based you are. You know what I'm saying?
I absolutely know what it is. I know what you're referring to.
All right,
but
then.
here we
That's
go
enough.
again with the
That's all I
legal
need.
frameworks of the country I live in.
Yeah, look, I moved to Southeast Asia. There is no laws here. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should come.
I mean, I like my country. I like living here.
Yeah,
it's just
a beautiful country.
Yeah, like censorship, but I don't know. At least the Freedom Party, the right wing party here in Austria, had some pretty good election results last election. But as always, it was they nonetheless, even though they had the majority, they did not come into the government because the usual bullshit was.
Yeah, well, here, and I don't know if you followed politics in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, also the quote-unquote Freedom Party got in power.
Yeah, like Gerd Wilders and such. But he's like,
he-
I mean, he's pretty cucked, right?
He's extremely cocked, like every political party. There is no more right wing. Like
I completely agree with you there. It's like only there is like basically it's a gradient of like completely cocked and only a little bit cocked, and some of it is okay.
It's extreme liberalism to the point where you're cutting little children's cocks off, and then a little bit less liberalism, which we call conservatism nowadays.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I like we're on the same page here. And Gerd Wilders, I don't know. I looked at his like homepage some time ago, and I did notice that like 90% of all of his posts seem to actually not be about the Netherlands, but about a different country.
Yeah, isn't that
Can
weird?
you guess which one? It's
Isn't
weird,
that
right?
strange?
Weird.
Yeah,
It's
you know what's
interesting.
funny? So one of the things he says in like Parliament that got him into a lot of trouble because, of course, as every European country was being run over by African immigrants, North African, South African, all kinds of Africans are coming into our countries, and he said something that's seemingly based. He's like, listen, because we also have a thing which is also happening in a lot of European countries, is where like Muslim parties are being democratically pushed forward, and the more a demographic changes, the more popular these types of political parties will become, right? Because, and again, by the way, Americans, they don't understand this. We don't have a two-party system. Anybody can start a political movement and become like a political party in these European parliaments. And then the based and red-pilled Geert Wilders, he said, listen, if you cannot have a total allegiance to the Netherlands, and you are a Muslim and you have a double passport, you should not be allowed to run for political office, right? Which, that sounds really good. But then, just like you alluded to, at the same time, Geert Wilders, the biggest dangerous fascist right-winger in the Netherlands, in his office, in Parliament, in his parliamentary office, he has a Dutch flag, and right next to it, there's an Israeli flag. Right next to it. So who has the double allegiance here? But anyways,
yeah,
that's
crazy how nature do that. Yeah.
Yes, is it similar in Austria or no?
Not like that. No, not like that.
That's good.
It's a little bit better here. Yeah. Even though you have also like within the party you have some people that are relatively based within our Freedom Party. The head of the party, Herbert Kickl, he's actually pretty good. Like as good as a populist right-wing politician can get. But there are of course many like idiots in the party as well. So it's party politics is always horrible.
Yeah. So what would you say that in the Netherlands there's one political party they're called Forum for Democracy, led by Thierry Baudet is his name. They seem pretty based, but still it's just so wishy-washy. You never know. Like even that guy was at the Wailing Wall, shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I have kind of like, I will be honest here, I've kind of like turned my back on like actual party politics quite some time ago. I used to be basically, for my story, like when the whole, migration crisis, quote unquote, thing in 2015 happened, that was kind of when I got red-pilled. And I did some political activism during that time when all these terrorist attacks were going on. And so that was kind of like how I got into the whole thing. But I'm too old for activism now, and I mean activism. If you want to do it, do it. But at this point I'm also a bit skeptical of, at least the classical approach of like, I don't know, we do.
Yeah,
banner
but I mean,
drops
now
and-
you're making video games. Your video game, The Great Rebellion, is doing really good. I saw my friend Stone Toss is one of the characters. We need to get Butch Killigan needs to be one of your characters.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I'm making video games now because that has been my passion forever. Anyway, ever since I first played with my older brother's Commodore Amiga when I was like, I don't know, 7 or so. I had this desire to make video games. So, yeah.
Should I
It's
show
just
them the
kinda
trailer real quick? It's like a run and gun. Is it like Metroidvania or what is it? Maybe you should. explain a
Not
little
really.
bit.
It's more like a roguelike run and gun. It's like, it has randomly generated levels, and basically I was playing a lot of Enter the Gungeon and Nuclear Throne when I was making that game, and I thought like, hey, I want to do something like that, but as a platform, basically. That's I guess.
Yeah, it looks really
quick
fucking
summary.
awesome. Look, we really need to get Butch Killigan in here. What's the chances of that? Can we get that done?
No, absolutely. Let's do it. I mean, fuck it. Yeah, sure.
Look, if you send me your sprite sheet of one of the little characters, I'll just do these. I'll do all the
do you have
keyframes.
experience with like pixel art?
Listen, I went to school for video game design. I dropped out.
All right.
Do you know that look, I tell this story a lot of times.
Are you interested in doing graphics for games in the future in general? I don't know. You're looking for
I'm very
artists.
busy nowadays. I'm doing my my graphic novel series, Butch Killigan, of course.
Right.
Don't know if you've heard of it, but that's like my full-time gig right now. But look, it depends on how much the workload is. And
Now,
if
at
the
the
idea
moment,
is good, I would definitely be. Here's the thing, though. All the video game projects that I worked on, now yours obviously came out, it's successful, it's on Steam, all that shit. But from my experiences as a kid, when I was making like Half-Life 1 mods and shit like that, everything always fell through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I absolutely know that, and that's the thing. Like, if you only finish a game, you're already like past
Yes.
like 95% of everyone else because most games never get finished.
Let me
Making
show you
games
this.
really hard.
Do you
It
remember
takes a lot of
this?
dedication. No, actually
This
not.
mod.
What is that?
Do you know this mod? There's a very old Half-Life 1 mod called Naruto Naiteki Kensei. I made the 3D models for that.
You did? Wow. Okay,
Yeah, I
cool.
made these 3D models for that. I made Naruto and Sasuke, these guys.
So basically, at this point, we are already working on actually not one but multiple new projects, and we've shown, I guess, that we can actually finish a game. So there's that. So that
Yeah,
already-
exactly. So that people don't understand. That is the biggest downfall of game development is not finishing. So yeah, these guys. And you, what is your role? You're like the programmer.
For the Great Rebellion, I was basically the main programmer. I did like 90% of the code. I also did the vast majority of the design. So I was lead programmer and lead designer, and I was also the only one who was more or less working on it full time. I had to do some other stuff on the side to get money in because our budget was essentially non-existent. But I did it as much as I could. And the other people, there were like a few other people who helped with their spare time. But now at this point, I'm still doing coding, but I'm at this point, I guess, more like of a director or whatever you want to call it. Because like our team has grown, and so I just coordinate stuff.
Yeah, how about you and I? We sit together, we make a game together, something small, something that we can do in like 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, currently the workload is also like it's kind of the same as with you. Like currently we are like completely to the brim with our current projects.
I understand,
Once
but
we
look,
got
you and me get together. Fuck, dude, we'll make something so fucking awesome. You can't even imagine. Like, what do you think my workload is? I'm doing 4 comic books at once. I'm making animation projects. I'm working on a Sam Hyde animation project. I'm making
Sam
my third
Hyde,
book.
That's really cool. But I recently, for one of our new projects, a person who also works with Sam Hyde has joined our team.
His fluffer.
So, no, it's Derek Maves.
I don't know. I haven't heard it. I was making a stupid joke, but yeah, look. I would love to do it, but look. First things first. Let's get Butch Killigan in here. We need to do that. He needs to get in there, and then we'll see. We'll see how we move forward from that. Now I have some notes here because here's the thing. My chat, they really wanted me to talk to you about the stuff.
Yeah, I'm very happy. That apparently the word is spreading. Yeah, I've been contacted by a bunch of your fans, and yeah, cool.
That's awesome. Okay, let's see what we got here. So we got the Cult Game Jam. I pulled that up. Now, you had a YouTube short that got popular here where you were talking about something that's similar to stuff that I've been dealing with. Let's watch this real quick.
Because we had this experience constantly that we try to set it in the future and make it like a dystopian future setting in the year 2085, but actually we constantly had this experience that everything we predicted,
this is funny,
kind of became true as we were developing the game, and it was really becoming more and more difficult to even make fun of stuff.
Okay, so this is hilarious because every time I was pitching my book, Butch Killigan, do I need to pull something up so people, when your fans come here, that they can see what Butch Killigan is? I'll pull it up real quick just so they can get a little bit of an idea. You can go here. Guys, go to butchkilligan.com, sign up to the mailing list, and you can watch some of the motion graphics videos here of Butch Killigan. You'll love it. It's awesome. But yeah, whenever I'm like promoting Butch Killigan, I've done like a huge promo run.
304. Someone's home.
The last month.
Cover cop.
And, one of the things that I always have to mention is, yes, so in writing this book, I'm trying to make a satirical depiction of the future. And one of the problems I ran into is that reality caught up to me every single time. So it's really funny to see you say basically the exact same thing that I was saying.
Yeah, we had that experience over and over and constantly. I don't know, there's a boss fight in our game where we're fighting an AI in cyberspace. And basically it's like a fact-checking AI. So you have to constantly answer the wrong answers, like wrong according to the global homo logic, and to override its circuits. And one of the questions it's asking you is, have the old Vikings been black? And it's so funny because just recently I saw like a bunch of posts where people were complaining about like. There's this new
the How
movie,
to Train Your Dragon thing.
Yeah, about this thing. We were like, totally, black Vikings existed. Of course. What is your problem, you racist? And so on.
Yeah,
it's like every thing I make up, like it's like I just have to wait a few weeks or months.
Yeah. So what I did with Butch Killigan, I went completely farcical, complete absurdist. So in the Butch Killigan universe, you're gonna have like a Chinese human mosquito hybrids that are going to be flying and trying to bite you and spread their diseases. There's like self-replicating retarded robots or like clones, and every time they replicate, they get more retarded. Shit like that. And it gets really, really bad. Butch Killigan gets really, really horrible. But I love that shit. I love that you guys are sort of on the same track with that stuff. But Satire is not dead. Is that what the title of this video is?
Because the reality was
is Satire dead? It's a question. I mean, I don't think it is.
Definitely not.
I think Satire has a place. But I personally have also come to a point where I think Satire... I mean, sure, you can make fun of all this stuff. But at this point, I'm actually almost more interested in doing something else because like you can only, satirize it so much. So maybe do something that's like... still, against all of this bullshit, but maybe like in a more subtle way or
okay. More, I see what you're saying. So look. So that is what I'm doing with Butch Killigan. So in Butch Killigan, I'm not directly referencing like the pop cultural things of the times. You know what I'm saying? Like Butch Killigan is not going to say, "Oh my God, look at these hacking SJWs." No, I'm looking at the flux of time and where things are going. And I'm doing like a deep analysis because in essence it all stems from a matriarchy that's being put up that displaces the patriarchy, and you have like masculine forces being tumbled versus feminine forces. And if you understand it in more of an abstract, from that new dystopian ideas can form, and it can actually get much, much worse than things are getting right now. So I'm never reacting directly to what you see in current day culture. I'm literally putting myself in the seat of Nostradamus and trying to predict how bad things can get, and then make it like farcical and like crazy and retarded. So, for instance, Butch Killigan in book 2, he wakes up from a coma, and when you write a scene like that, it's like, okay, you need to get him out of this bed, right? He needs to get out of here. And in order for him to get out, the AI that's in his bed says, listen, the only way for you to get out, okay, oh, you want to get out? Okay, the only way for you to get out is for us to measure your vital signs. And the most accurate way to do that is through anal measurement. And then a giant fucking dildo comes out of the bed that tries to fucking ass rape him. You know what I'm saying? So look, it's based in reality, but it just takes it 2 steps further. Now, are they going to rape your ass to get you to
but metaphorically, they sure as hell do.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's I can see where you're. Yeah, we have come to a similar point. I mean, we tried in the Great Rebellion to not be too, just the current thing, because, for instance, we wanted to have something that was very clearly like referencing COVID and the vaccines and everything. Yeah. And we thought like, nah, that's too, too topical. That's not going to age well. So we kind of removed that, and then we tried to, what is the essence of all of that? So we replaced that with a level that's just about like, basically, genetic engineering and creating. It's actually like this boss that you see there. That's the boss from that level. So we tried to keep it a bit more abstract, more like the general ideas behind things, and not so much the specific forms.
That's the way I do it. So, for instance, when I was looking at like the total control that something like COVID does, so I have characters in Butch Killigan that they have like these little backpacks around their necks with like heart pump devices, and in order to have your heart pump. So these are all like sedentary, big fat slobs, you know what I'm saying? And they have like heart pumps strapped to their chest that run on a subscription service that's called ticker rates. So if you want to have a semi-active lifestyle, you need to pay a subscription service that lets your heart pump. You know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what COVID was trying to do. And I can sort of see the whole COVID mandate stuff. It is going to become like a CO2 tax where they're going to call you breathing out CO2 as like some kind of a toxin or whatever, and they're gonna charge you for breathing. Something like that. I think shit like that might happen. I think that was kind of like the precedent set with that. So look, when you say satire is dead, I think this era is ripe for satire, honestly. I think it's...
No, I mean, it was a bit of a clickbaity title. There's absolutely place for satire. You just have to be smart about it. And I think like the basic, let's own the libs and let's put like whatever person directly in the game. And as you said, just be like this blunt. I think that's played out. That's not very interesting in the long term.
Yeah, but there is a place for that. I would just think like the medium of a video game, you kind of want to have the video game stand the test of time a little bit because it takes so long to develop something like that.
Yes.
Now, for instance, Stone Toss, who was in your game, he can fart out a 3-panel comic that day something happened. So that medium obviously is very well suited to directly comment on whatever's happening on that day specifically. Or even like guys like South Park, they can fart out an episode in 24 hours, just like we saw in that documentary. So it depends on the medium, I think. But yeah, if you're making a video game, you kind of want it to stand the test of time. And yeah, you need to go a little bit more meta. And it's more difficult. It's a way more difficult way to do satire. But yeah,
I mean, making a game is just difficult. And I mean, the vast majority of our time did eventually just go into making it into a good game, balancing, adding a lot of items, weapons, enemies, etc., making it fun and playable. Because we don't want to. We specifically sat down to say like we're not gonna make the next meme game that's like fun to play for 5 minutes and you laugh about all the jokes about the SJWs or whatever. And that was it. We want to make a game that people actually want to play, and I think we have achieved that, because when I read our Steam reviews, there are actually some reviews there that are like, I don't care about the politics, whatever. I'm not on board with this anti-woke stuff or whatever, but I have to admit it's a fun game, and that's actually for me like the highest praise we can possibly get.
Yeah, that's the core of it. That's the core of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I look at that similar to my comic book. The quality of the comic book art and the storytelling, that takes precedent over like doing little jokes and stuff like that. So I'm actually interested. I might do like a little let's play of like the Great Rebellion on my stream one of these days. We do little let's plays now and again. See, I'd be interested to do that. I'd like to check it out. I'll do it when Butch Killigan is in it. I do a full let's play when Butch Killigan is in the game. How about that? How about that?
All
deal?
right, we'll do that. We'll do that.
All right.
Okay, I can
let's
just
take-
send you. I can send you the sprite sheets for the characters we have in the game, and then you can just basically draw a pixel art version of Butch Killigan.
Yeah, or I'll do like I'll do like the artwork and then the pixel art because I'm not that good at pixel art, but I'll do the keyframes.
Yeah, I mean, I can
and stuff
turn
like
it into
that.
pixel art. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, we'll do that. So just send me a sprite sheet of like your main character, and I'll because I want to be exactly like Stone Toss, okay, with like a little character portrait and stuff like that.
Sure
Can you do that? Yeah, let's see. I have
course.
another link here. Let's see what this is about. Oh yeah, this one. You were talking about propaganda. Let's watch this real quick, guys. You said Baldur's Gate 3 is far worse than what is that again? DA?
Dragon Age. Dragon Age.
Yeah, Dragon Age. I have some Dragon Age clips also. So, but precisely because it is a well-made game and therefore actually effective in peddling its propaganda. Yes, because people forget about this. Propaganda is more effective when it flies under the radar rather than people being slapped in the face with it. Now, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean that's been that tweet blew up quite a bit and it was quite controversial. I got a lot of flack for that, but I think I completely stand by that because that's the thing. There are a lot of people who defend Baldur's Gate 3 because I don't know they come up with all these copes because they are so desperate for games that are actually not shit these days because so many of the AAA games are that they want to play this game, which is obviously a decently, very competently made game. And so they come up with all these copes to like deal with these things that are in the game. I mean, first of all, I personally like if you just look at the cover of Baldur's Gate 3, if you look at the character art, I fucking hate this character design so much.
Now look,
Instinctively,
I was about to say this. Look, if you just put the Baldur, because I have played neither of these games, if you just
Right.
put the Baldur's Gate logo here and you would paste it on top of Dragon Age, I honestly could not tell the difference. It all looks
That's
so
the thing.
samey.
like the
It's all the same.
aesthetics alone are like I'm like an old school Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know, Frank Frazetta, Conan the Barbarian, that kind of stuff fan, and all this new direction that this fantasy art is being taken into where everybody looks like a SoundCloud rapper or I don't know, like a Fortnite character. It fucking disgusts me. And,
It all looks the same.
yeah, it all looks the same. It's soulless. It's slop. It's plastic. It's not medieval fantasy. It's like a Starbucks in the current day, but with swords.
I remember it might have been like last Game Awards or whatever the fuck, some kind of it, wherever they revealed a new game shit, there was like a compilation trailer that showed like 5 new games that were coming out, right? So it shows like little clips to get you hyped up at the beginning of the award show. And I didn't even know there were like cuts in between. I didn't even realize it was showcasing like 4 or 5 different games. I literally thought it was the same exact game.
Yeah,
That's
it all
how
looks
bad.
the same.
And I think it's also an effect of. It used to be when you were a game developer, you would in-house develop your own. When things were much more small scale, you develop your own engine and stuff like that. By virtue of everybody using the same engine, a lot of stuff is also going to look samey by virtue of that, right? That's one aspect of it.
That is
And then
definitely one aspect. Like everybody switches to Unreal Engine because it's the default engine that gets also taught to people in courses and whatnot, and so it makes it much easier to just outsource things, to just hire some cheap whatever developers from India or whatever, because that's what they're going to be familiar with. You can't have all these like
and you're gonna have like prefabricated code, prefabricated animation stuff here and there, probably popping up.
Yeah, like it's shittily optimized. It runs shittily because it's just hacked together by people who actually don't know what they're doing, and it all looks the same. They all look like a lot of like just default stuff, like settings.
Yeah,
assets, whatever.
But then on top of that, you're gonna have the problem of like the creatives in these studios are all queefy, dumb feminist women nowadays, and if they're not like feminists, it's gonna be like blue-haired, faggoty, cucked losers, basically.
I mean, basically, and if you compare that, I always like to dig up these old photos from development studios from the 80s and 90s, and I do know that somebody like John Romero or so is also basically a libtard. But at least these people had like, they were all like,
but dude,
first of all, they were almost completely male.
When John Romero was a libtard, Trump's politics is Bill Clinton from the 90s. Like Trump,
Yeah.
conservatism has moved left, so it's the same. Basically,
Exactly. But these
John-
people are
yeah.
like the guys who just like, I don't know, coded the whole night through, listened to metal, ate pizza, played Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons.
it was just
you
a
know,
bunch of
this,
dude
like,
bros sitting in their little garage, farting, laughing it up, being dudes.
exactly. And this is how you get all these amazing classic games that we all loved. And that's the complete opposite of this corporate, I don't know, gay, feminist bullshit.
Yeah,
that is happening.
I remember even because I remember I used to work at a game studio. It was some shitty fucking educational game bullshit, right? I remember one of my bosses. He was like, "Listen, we need some feminine energy in here. The next person I'm going to hire is a woman," and he hired a female programmer who was complete garbage and shit. I always heard all the other male programmers complain about how they had to fix everything she did. But even having some retarded, like autistic woman, it just changed the vibes, and it's
It
not
changed
because-
the dynamic. Yeah, I mean, you can have some women on your team, if it's about, like, in my experience, there are women. There always have been women in game dev that did art, like music, graphics,
Sure.
or stuff like that. But like the actual coding, the hardcore engineering part, like that's just, come on, you gotta let men do it. Okay.
Yeah, but look, and I just think here's the thing too. I think there's something in the temperament of men who do like computer programmers, guys who would dedicate their lives to something like that. I
Yeah.
think there's
Yeah.
something in the temperament of guys like that. If you get a bunch of boss bitch women in there that have political power and social power nowadays, they
Yeah.
tend to cuck to that. They tend to like put their head down and like they're gonna let themselves be ruled basically.
Yeah,
by
they're
like an
often
age-
like maybe not the most socially,
Yeah, that's
they
what I'm
may not
saying.
have the greatest people skills or social skills, so they can easily be browbeat.
Yeah, you're putting in a lot more nuance. Yeah, I said socially retarded autists, but yeah, basically what you're saying, yes, they're
Wait,
not really.
yeah, same thing.
But yes, I think that's not to say that I'm not thinking that just tends to be the temperament of these types of guys, and then you get like those toxic elements in there, like HR department and stuff like that, and they tend to like just bow down, keep their heads down, they don't want to get into trouble, right? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up with games like this. Now we are still in an era right now. So, okay, so what do you think is going to happen in the with the games industry? So look, I tend to be like a accelerationist, right, when it comes to stuff like this. So for instance, that new Assassin's Creed game that's coming out with the black guy.
With the black guy, was George Floyd in Japan, yeah.
Yeah, George Floyd in Japan. Hey, look, George Floyd in Japan destroying ancient Japanese artifacts with a club.
It's just like wrecking fucking everything. Yeah, that's the
But to
game
me,
from what I've
that's
seen. That's
so
what it looks
fucking
like.
funny. I'm actually excited about that one. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna stream
So,
that
no,
one.
Detroit simulators.
And it's funny because there's a big black giant fentanyl god walking through the Japanese streets, and then you have all the Japanese people like, oh, they're like bowing to him. It's just
Yeah,
so
that's what would have
fucking.
happened, surely.
But they jumped the gun. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah,
when you give them
that's the
power,
thing. Like that's also kind of the point I was trying to make with that tweet, because propaganda used to be much more well made. I don't know. Do you know American Krogan?
American who?
American Krogan. He stopped, but he used to make really good analysis videos about movies and video games. And
not
he
familiar.
had a video where he talked about how specifically, like, there's this movie from the 90s. It's called A Time to Kill, where it was
Yeah, I know.
which was, he analyzed it because it was very well made propaganda. It's actually a good movie, and it has all these themes in there about racism, blah blah blah. But it's like subtle, and it's like you root for the guy. It's well made. So they could still do that back then, but they have just jumped the gun, as you say. Like they can't keep it subtle anymore, and now it backfires. And that's kind of also the point I was trying to make with that tweet, that so many people just long for the time when propaganda was just higher quality. Essentially.
Yeah, well, look, I can tell you why I think propaganda. I don't know how base do you want to get? Listen, this is not your views; these are my views. But I think, look, Jews are really good at writing stories, okay, and they kind of siphoned themselves out of these positions. They kind of got like with the new generation of Jews, nepotism. They got too cushiony, and they started to give some of these jobs to their golems. So yeah, they gave these jobs to like Twitter opinion piece writers, and yeah, by virtue of that, the propaganda is not going to be that great anymore. You know what I'm saying? My controversial take.
I will not comment on that, and I will neither agree nor disagree with you.
All right, good. Look, that's not your opinion. That's my opinion. Okay, Sven Stoffels. Right. But I'm not. It's not even my opinion. I'm just that's kind of like my theory here. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I think.
So it's an interesting theory.
Isn't that an interesting theory?
I just listen to what you're saying.
Yeah, you're just listening. Okay, next topic. So that's cut off.
Exactly.
Next topic. But when you have a bunch of women in your art departments and they're just not good storytellers, and what tends to happen is this. How do I explain this? They tend to be autobiographical, okay? So they can solely write from their own point of view. So it becomes autobiographical, all of this stuff. So you have these scenes from this game. Maybe I was looking for one today. One of these clips dropped of Dragon Age Veilguard. What is this character again? The big horn tranny?
I'm not sure what they are called because I've never been a big Dragon Age fan. Funari, I think they're called.
Vugouge or something. Some fucking dumb name.
I don't know. It's supposed to be a woman, sorta, but then it tells you it's non-binary or something.
Yeah, it's like it's a non-binary thing, and she's like super strong. Oh, by the way, yeah, I found this. Dragon Age to Veilguard. Can I cut off my breasts? Yes. Can I cut it? Blah,
yes.
blah, blah, blah.
That's
Can I enlarge my chest and have hips to reflect my anatomy as a woman? No, you should be ashamed. And it goes to show you that this is the director. Now, I did not know that. Is that the case?
That explains a lot. Yeah. I think that's, yeah.
So
and
this
you
is
can
sort
actually,
of like a John Romero type of guy? Used to be.
I mean, there is this thing we talked about that, because I never really understood the whole, like, nerd or autistic nerd to transsexual pipeline, which apparently is a thing. But I think I have understood it better at this point, because these people are essentially just very easy to groom. They fall for this stuff easily. So you have this like phenomenon of, because I never really understood it, because I thought like, coders, they are very masculine in the sense that they have this totally like masculine rationalist view of things, and they just analyze things. So why do they suddenly become women? That's the total opposite.
Women,
but,
quote
yeah,
unquote.
I think I get the dynamic behind that now.
Yeah, I did a whole analysis on it. I don't know which stream it is. Maybe some of you guys in the chat can remind me. But there was this era in YouTube. I think it was like 2016 or something. And all of a sudden, a bunch of these very nerdy, very like autistically nerdosphere guys, they started truding out. They started to become like trans. So you had like one of these guys, he was like a man on the street comedy guy. His name was Joe Goes. Very schlubby, losery type of nerdy type of guy. He looked like Butters from South Park, like very little nerd. They had like this YouTuber, Philosophy Tube was his name, like this. Obviously, he's doing like YouTube videos about like fucking philosophy books and shit like that. Very nerdy, right? So I think, and people forget how bad the social climate was around like 2016, 17, 18. It was so bad, right? Look, now I can criticize trannies. I can even say tranny, the word tranny. Back then, I would immediately be banned, and I was, okay? So it's gotten a little bit lighter, but back then it was so strict. And the way I theorized,
I got banned on Twitter at one point when I made fun of people with monkeypox. I was keeping like monkeypox posting because I thought it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is hilarious. It's God's reckoning. But so look, so I was looking at it like this. So you have this inverted social hierarchy, right? So the inverted patriarchy, the matriarchy, and a V like a vagina. So everything that used to be on top is now at the bottom. Now imagine you're a cis white male. Obviously, you'd be at the bottom of the social hierarchy at this point. So, and then imagine from that category, cis white males, you are like a super antisocial loser type of guy, right? Like a guy like this. Now you're
Yeah.
basically at the bottom. You're being blamed for everything. You're a cis, white, this, that, and the other thing. Now, for somebody that's nothing to lose, you're like a suicidal loser. There is this forbidden fruit, this apple that you can bite into, this humiliation ritual that you can undertake. And if you do, all of a sudden, this red carpet gets rolled out, and you get to climb all the way up to the top of the of this inverted social hierarchy. Right? All you got to do is take some HRT, maybe put on a dress, put on a wig. Boom! Now you're at the top of this victim social hierarchy. And I think a lot of the guys took that forbidden fruit because they had nothing to lose. And and then they threw it out, and then they can strut around in the office. They're the biggest victim of all. And they get to dictate and mandate, and all their dreams come true. By the way, because we were looking at like Disney Studios. You have some of these, like the heads of like Disney Studios. It's all trannies and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the top of like Disney Studios storyboarding department. It's like 5 trannies. Like it's all trannies basically. So yeah, imagine
there's the whole like transmexing thing. Like, isn't there even like a manifesto where it says basically where that's the advice for young men that they become.
Fuck,
they
that's
thrown out
dark.
because then they will have all these benefits that you get if you cut off your PP.
Yeah, I could see that, but I would not advise any young men listening to this to read that manifesto.
No, definitely not. But the fact that it exists, is
yeah. It does
mind-blowing.
exist. People are saying in the chat, merit is a disadvantage now. In certain ways, it is. It depends on who you are. If you're a white man, yes. If you're a heterosexual white man, your merit's right out of the window. Unless you...
I mean, merit is never a disadvantage per se, I think, but you have to understand how this stuff works, because otherwise you will just be, you will be fucked over. But if you are, like, skilled and intelligent, then you need to understand that, yeah, you won't be helped by the system, but you can work on, like, finding other ways. Building
Exactly. So
something or
that's what I was about to say is, if you want to play the game, if you want to feed into the system, yes, merit is not going to get you anywhere. And the funny thing right now is, and it's actually AI that did it. And maybe I want to ask you what your thoughts are about AI after I finish this little idea. And I've talked about this before, but so you see a lot of these left-wing artists, and especially the animation scene and probably gaming scene too, I would imagine, they're panicking because of the rise of AI. And they see AI replacing them. So obviously, a lot of like storyboarding art jobs and like concept art jobs are going to be replaced by AI. And it's gotten to the point where I see on YouTube channels of these animation channels that I used to follow, you have like these elders in like Disney, like the old guard, like these are still like men, right? Liberal, very liberal, but they're giving the advice now, like, listen, guys, the battle has been lost. You got to accept it. AI is here to stay. A lot of you guys are going to get replaced. Like, this is Disney advice, okay? A lot of you guys are going to get replaced. Studio jobs are a thing of the past. And his answer was this. The indie route, basically. You got to get together with your friends, create your own studios, create an online presence, sell your own stuff, blah, blah, blah. So that's actually the way things seem to be going because of AI. So that's kind of like a cool thing about AI, I think. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with that, because AI will replace a lot of these, I don't want to call them low-tier jobs or whatever, but stuff like concept or so. Thing that can more easily be automated. So that is true, but it also gives smaller studios, smaller creators a very powerful tool, I think, if you know how to use it. Like, you can't expect to just spit out your game or your comic or whatever for you, obviously. But what it always needs is a human behind it that has an actual artistic vision, that actually understands what he wants to make. If you are not in a job where this is needed because you can't just churn out slop, then you will be easily replaced. But if you are the guy who provides the creative divine spark to the machine to do what you want it to do, then you cannot be so easily replaced. So I think that's the core issue here. Like, if you are a person who has something to contribute to this world, then it will be just another tool for you. But if you don't, then maybe you'll be replaced.
Yeah, so I absolutely agree with you, and I think what it comes down to is if you are in the business of speaking the truth, right? Because already you can see these AIs are getting throttled to speak the truth. Yes, I agree they're going to be good tools in service of the truth, but they can never churn it out because they're literally programmed to be liars, right? So yeah, if you're in the business of making another tranny and My Little Pony movie, it's going to be great for that. But if you want to make funny, truthful, truth through funny type of content, no AI is ever going to be able to replace you. So you actually have a benefit. All the based edgelords, they're going to be coming out on top.
Yeah. No, I think so too. And I'm actually kind of happy about the general collapse of AAA. And I think all of this stuff should burn and crumble.
So can you speak a little bit closer to the microphone because you're drifting?
I'm kind of very okay with the collapse of AAA, and I think all of this stuff should burn and crumble. And it's a great chance for smaller creators to come back and do things that are not just created by committee but have some actual authorial footprint again and are interesting and creative and.
Yes,
the greatest games in the next time will come out from AA and indie.
Let's hope so. I hope so. It sort of seems to go that way. You never know how it exactly goes, but I really
that's the
do
current
hope.
trajectory. Who knows what happens? But yeah.
Now, how is Steam doing? So Steam Germany banned you. Now, on what grounds?
I don't really know. I mean, I can obviously suspect. So. As I said, I was politically active before I got into the whole game development thing, or before I made it more than just a hobby, let's put it that way, because before that I was just doing Satire as a hobby occasionally. So I was known to the authorities. There was even a case where for dropping banners and putting up stickers that were essentially advertising for secure borders and deportation of illegals. So very sane things, like really nothing extreme. But that was enough in our beautiful country of Austria to get me dragged in front of court, and that was a very unpleasant experience. So I was acquitted, thankfully. That was in 2018. But so I was known, and I made this first game before the Great Rebellion, which is a freeware game called Heimatdefender, which was considerably more directly political, where I was more or less just literally making a game about my personal, political experiences, let's say. That also had like real life people in it that actually exist. And that caused a bit of a controversy in Germany. And they banned the game, not banned, but they did put it on that index list that I talked about earlier.
You got like media attention for it and stuff?
I did actually quite a bit. There were various. There was something on TV even about it, and there were various articles written. Vice wrote about it. Some various centers about extremism online wrote about it. The game is pretty harmless. Like there is no violence in it.
When was this?
2020.
2020. Because we had Vice reporters come into my Discord at some point. Remember that woman that was doing like. Tiki Torch March stuff reports, that stupid bitch, that blonde one with the
L. Reeves or something.
Yeah, that dumb bitch. She was in my Discord. She was like, "Okay, bitch. So what do you want to talk? What do you want to talk about?"
It's very interesting.
Stupid bitch. Anyways, okay. So, look. So that's pretty. Look, that's kind of cool.
So that was that, and the Great Rebellion is actually like considerably more like subtle about these things. Doesn't contain real life people. But they still couldn't, so they couldn't like utter those banners, but they still couldn't accept the fact that we are not just selling our game on Steam. So let's say, I don't want to dox anyone or so, but let's say through insider information, we can probably put together what happened, and that is that probably the family ministry in Germany called / emailed Steam and also other publishing platforms where our game is available and told them like, look, this is a very evil game. Please take it off. It's not officially banned, but take it off.
Isn't there like games on Steam that are like straddling the line of like CP and like really? There's some really disgusting, degenerate shit on Steam, isn't there?
Of course, but you know how it is. That's all fine as long as it doesn't step on the toes.
Yeah. So what? Because look, I was asking because in my guesstimation, Steam always sort of seemed pretty cool as a distribution platform, sort of. publishing
They
platform?
do, but if an actual government, I think, gets involved at the end of the day, they don't want to get in trouble, and they were like,
they don't want
restricted
trouble.
for Germany. They didn't kick us off of Steam completely, which is nice, which I low-key almost expected.
And it doesn't hurt you. It's probably good. It's good for a game like The Great Rebellion. That's probably good PR, don't you think?
It gives us street cred, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like that, honestly, is good for a game like yours.
I mean, we had a lot of sales in Germany in the beginning, so it did hurt us a bit.
Oh,
We
yeah.
couldn't sell in Germany anymore. But it's fine because at this point we have spread out and we have enough.
Yeah, fuck him. And you guys have 98% positive reviews. I'm going to do a let's play of it once Butch Killigan is in it. Now, is there any other distribution platforms that are popping up that you think could be viable in the future, separate from Steam, or is that not anything that's on the horizon?
I mean, I have positively been surprised by GOG, Good Old Games. I know they're also
They're
kind
Polish,
of paused,
right?
but they're Polish, but they did actually not remove us from the German store. I don't know, maybe they have a problem with Germans telling them what to do or something because they're Polish. I'm not sure why,
There's a little
but
history there.
yeah, but they kept us. So you can still buy it in Germany on GOG, and but I mean there are no base distribution platforms. Steam is, I guess, the safest one still at the end of the day. They want to attack that. I recently read this report by the ADL about how Steam is, full of extremism and hate, and they have to censor.
Yeah, they don't like gamers. They don't like gamers.
They really
the
don't.
ADL doesn't like gamers that much. They don't like gamer language, gamer culture.
Yeah, they really don't. Gamers. Oh, there's something.
Can I show you this? We've seen this before. I kind of wanted to see your reaction to this. Now, what do you think about this?
I legitimately didn't watch this one because I can't take the cringe. I saw one Veilguard dialogue, the one where he sits down and says, "I'm non-binary." I was like, okay, I'm out of here. Get the fuck out.
I watched that one too.
So I have not watched this actually.
I did a full 3-hour analysis of this clip, but I want to watch it with you real quick because it's so gay. And it seeps. The women writing seeps through this. Okay, so let's watch this real quick.
She's still holding a ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
Look.
what are you doing?
Pulling a barb.
Oh, okay. A barv?
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy, but like most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad blood among your crews, not good for morale, but there's not always time for big, drawn-out apologies.
Now, so what happened here is that the weird peacock pirate lady, she misgendered the big ox woman, they, them, and then on her own accord, she goes to pull a barv. Basically what that means is... Roland.
She does pull-ups because she push-ups because she misgendered.
Yeah, it's like a form of self-flagellation, a self-punishment that she undergoes. But the funny thing is, they're calling it pulling the barv, and you just can tell that these dumb bitches are sitting there in the writer's room. You know what? Pulling the barv is going to become a thing. Everybody's going to do some self-punishment when they misgender. They're going, oh, you know what? I'm going to pull a barv. Like, I just can hear them. I can hear these dumb cunts in the writer's room giggling at their own garbage, pulling the barv. Shut the fuck up, you goddamn cunt. Okay? With your fucking barv. I'm about to barf.
I'm pulling a barf. I'm about to barf when I see this shit. You know?
Yeah, gag me with a spoon, because, I'm about to barf. Fucking bitch.
This is incredible. I don't know. Like, how did we get from, stories
Duke
about...
Nukem?
Yeah, from Duke Nukem to this shit. This is so horrible.
Imagine Duke Nukem pulling a barf. That would suck. Hey
Yeah,
there,
I would play a Dragon Age Duke Nukem crossover.
Yeah, what if Duke
That
Nukem
sounds
was,
like a good
hey there, baby, wanna dance? I'm a man. Sorry, let me pull a barf. Hey there, baby, suck my cock. I'm a guy. I'll pull a barf. Sorry for misgendering. He pulls a barf.
That's a great Duke Nukem impression.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
impressed.
you. That's so fucking queer. But okay, so where do you see the video game industry going, like AAA? Is it going to go straight down to garbage? Because what I'm seeing right now is you have these games, they've been in development for the past 4 years. So right now you're going to get some residual woke gay garbage coming out like Assassin's Creed. They're all puckering their sphincters because they know it's going to bomb. You got that fucking Indiana Jones shit coming out by some tranny. So what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
Are they going to course correct for this?
I think they will course correct for it somewhat because, I just think the losses are going to be too big. But I think they will eventually dial it back to a digestible amount. Like, I don't think they will completely get rid of this stuff, but I think they will do basically what we talked about in the beginning. Try to make it a bit more subtle and higher quality.
Yeah, so they're gonna. But to do that, they'd have to hire some competent propagandists.
Yeah, that's the thing. Can they do that? I actually think not all of them can, and some of them will just crash and burn. Like I think a lot of this big
Ubisoft, right? Ubisoft's not gonna recover.
Yeah, like a lot of them are not gonna make it. Some will. Some will just revert to making normal games that are completely free of this stuff. But I think you will always have that for some time.
I don't know. I don't know.
As I said, I think the future is in 2A and indie. If you want to have.
But look, when you say some of them are going to course correct, what they're just going to do is they're going to go to 2 steps back on the propaganda rung. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're still going to have your cool black guy.
It's like Space Marine 2. I like Space Marine 2. I think it's a good game. And I do like all the Warhammer stuff and all the, brother, honor, duty, I fucking love this shit. Yeah. But of course they had to do everything like perfectly diverse. The group is like one Asian guy, one black guy, one white guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are back at like 2010 levels.
Yeah. So I don't think that's enough. I'm going to say this. I don't want any black people in my country, and I also don't want any black people in my games. Okay, thank you so much. That's not your opinion. That's mine. I'm saying.
But once again, I'm just listening to you.
Yeah, you're just listening. No more blacks in my games, please. No more blacks in my vicinity. Thank you so much.
I mean, I will say this. I don't think you would fault a Japanese studio for making a game with Japanese people in it. I don't think anybody has ever been like, oh my god, why are there just Japanese people in it?
Exactly.
So if I'm a European, I will probably make my game, unless there is some good reason, because there is like a character from a different place and he travels here or whatever. Okay, maybe, But in general, I will probably want to make a game about what I know about white people.
If I'm in London and I want to do a realistic depiction of London, it's going to be 90%. My characters are going to all be Indian, though.
I don't know. So,
okay, listen, you've gotten in too much trouble as it is for saying stuff like this. I'm in Southeast Asia. I can do whatever the fuck I want, so I'll say whatever's on my mind. That's not your opinion, that's mine. Now, listen, I think we've been talking for an hour. I think that's a pretty good cutoff point for an interview, unless there's anything else you would like to mention to me.
I'm very much looking forward to our hopefully our collaboration, and
me too.
Check out our game, The Great Rebellion. There's gonna be a Steam sale soon. The autumn sale is gonna start in a few days, so there's that. And you can also buy it on GOG, or if you want to directly support us without giving any money to platforms, you can also buy it directly on our website, great-rebellion.com. Great-rebellion.com, I mean. And we are already working on multiple new projects. We want to turn this into a full-blown based game development operation.
Hell yeah, dude.
And we have big plans.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, guys, go follow at Great Rebellion on Twitter for all their new upcoming projects, and definitely go get your old gamers. Go get your copy of The Great Rebellion on Steam. It looks fucking awesome, and of course, Butch Killigan is going to be in it in the near future. We're going to collab. I love you. You're a great guy, and we should talk again soon as well. And thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you very much. I also enjoyed this greatly. Thank you for the invitation.
This is probably the greatest interview you've ever done. Don't you? Be honest.
You know what? Do you know Dave Martell? I think he's a really cool guy, and I always like his interviews with him. Like
okay,
but you're definitely in the top.
I'm a close second. All right,
I'm not
then.
going to say anything anymore. Okay, anyway.
There he
That
goes.
was
Thank
great.
you so much.
Talk to you again soon. Bye.
There he goes. That's a great dude. He's doing great work. Oh. What the fuck? Why did that happen? All right. That song just cut off for no reason. Okay, that was a good interview. What do you guys think? If it was a 10 out of 10 interview, press 1 in the chat. If it was, I mean, that's pretty, I just want to see ones. Just give me ones. I'm doing my best here. I've already been streaming all day long. Isn't that nuts? Wait, can I get my chat up here? There it is. There was no one in here before when we started. It's like a god-awful time. All right, ones. We got some 07s. Thanks, Roland. Yeah, that was a cool dude. These guys are doing great work. Go check out this game. Go get that game. I said, look, here's, again, whenever I'm talking to a new guy, I always try to see where the line is, right? I think I know where his line is, but of course, this guy's gotten into a lot of trouble. He had got negative media attention and shit. So, listen, I apologize, Roland, if I put you into any uncomfortable situations here. I don't think it was that bad. I kind of was on my best behavior, let's be honest here. I didn't say anything too bad. All right, yeah, pretty cool. Guys, also go check out the that Ethan Van Sciver interview I did earlier. I was on there for 4 hours. I was planning to do like a full day of drawing and get like a lot of stuff done, but this just turned into a stream day today. Here you go, check out this interview I did. It was fucking, how long was this one? 4 hours and 15 minutes. Christ criminy cricket on a pony. Yeah, what time is it? So you guys are all just Europeans, I guess, except for Chris. Europeans that are just waking up to this shit. Chris says, I watched the whole EVS. You have a lot of work out of you the next few days. Yeah, I know. I need to do some drawings. I have a fucking cover to do. That's the cool thing. Like, EVS likes me so much. He's just giving me a bunch of work, which I love, obviously. You know? Like, I've only met EVS, I met him like 2 weeks ago, and he's already given me like 4 gigs. So, like, yeah, cool. That guy rules. Don't care what anybody says about that guy. Yep, all Eurotrash sitting here at their coffee break, 10 a.m. Yeah. Well, it's good to see my Eurotrash audience again, because he's Americans, huh, guys? Jeez. With their hamburgers and their guns. Whew. Wake up, Bidumu Murubun says, Mr. Bond is from Austria and is serving 6 years for his music. Yeah, you gotta be careful over there. Mike Hunt is Australian. It's very close to me over there. It's right there. Sven can't get out of this streaming loop. Yeah, you got to do it. Look, I don't mind. I like streaming, but I also like drawing, and I haven't gotten to do that today at all. And I've drank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 beers. Whoopsie! People have been messaging me that the previous stream got banned, which is true. And this time, usually it's like one ban strike thing, and it says, and then you can cut out that part. But now it's like 8 of them. And I have to go through it one by one. It takes like 3 hours for YouTube to automatically cut whatever is the bad thing out of it. So I have to do it one by one. And honestly, this episode is just, this previous episode that we did is just going to be like a fucking cut up mess of just nothing's going to be left. Yeah, Alfred J. Quack, all the cartoons we showed basically, at Brum, all that shit, everything got us banned, and then all the music, every single music that we played. So it's just going to be like a chopped up mess of a nothing episode, basically, sadly. And YouTube, I always thought if you played something off of YouTube, that it was basically fine, but I guess not, huh? Yeah, it seems like ever since a few months ago, YouTube's gotten really strict with this copyright shit. I never used to give a fuck to not monetize my streams. I didn't give a shit about that. But what it does now is it doesn't just block your stream from getting monetized. It says blocked from viewing in certain countries. And this episode had like 9 of those things. And you have to go through one by one. And every time you click resolve, it takes 3 hours. And then I'm just like, is this really... Son, why not stream to Odyssey as backup, or is it banned in both Odyssey and Rumble are Yeah, you know what? I might just start streaming to Rumble again. We might just do that again. Fuck it. I'm not going to build up Odyssey. We were doing so well on Rumble. We were getting more views from Rumble than from YouTube. Problem is I have to be on the VPN and it throttles my connection, so it's going to get fucking choppy and shit, and it's just such a fucking hassle. It's such a pain in the ass. You know what? I'm going to drink one more beer with you guys. You need a better VPN. I have like NordVPN. Isn't that like the best one? I'm going to get a beer real quick. Give me one hacking flipping second, okay? Skibbity toilet, skibbity noilet. What is this? No. This. I'm back. Oy, gewalt. Pone Donkey says, I thought NordVPN was owned by our greatest allies. Oh, really? Oh, what isn't? What isn't owned by them? What am I going to do with the rest of my day? I'm too drunk to hold a pen. Sun's down. I can't go to the pool. Von Shroom says, I live in the Netherlands. Have yet to see the use in a proxy server subscription. Yeah, nothing's banned there, but the Netherlands also is the #1 export of CP. So, you know, there's a downside to extreme liberalism. You know what I'm saying? Ugh, am I really going to drink another beer? Ugh. Isn't beer disgusting? Is there anything that we can watch? Is there anything in the show prep server? Like, nobody's awake, and you guys are just semi-active in here? Show prep. Where is it? Or should I just go to my timeline? Let's see what's happening on the TL. TL time! Says, that's just a Randstad. Those people should get flooded. Yeah, I agree. I hope the dikes break. Check super chats. How do I do that even? Oh, here. How do I do that? I don't know how to check super chats. Viewer activity. Oh, here. My theory is that people hate Shinji Ikari because he's a realistic interpretation of an average anime fan. He interrupts the escapist fantasy. Yes, I think that's true. That's actually interesting. I like characters like that. I like anti-escapist fantasy characters. Thank you so much for the super chats, by the way. Butch Killigan is sort of like that too, to be honest. But I won't get into the details. TK says, I'm stuck in a fish tank universe. I don't even know what's going on right now. Everybody's just watching fish tank. Elon Musk playing video games. Oh yeah, Destiny got revealed to be fucking Lauren Southern. Did you guys hear about this whole fucking thing?
We take for granted as progress. I think you can really see stuff that we take for granted as progress. Gay marriage is another thing. There's a really weird cultural. I think this is what happens any.
Yeah, we can all agree that gay marriage is really was one of the greatest things ever.
Time, the party that's backed by the powers that be, big business, the rich people, the richest people in the world want far right politicians, and I think if
You
they
think still?
absolutely, without question.
I feel like tech is now. I just feel like the
I mean,
parties
Elon
have
Musk
changed.
is a huge Trump guy.
That's a good point.
Elon Musk is a major liberal. Okay, he just became conservative a month ago. Watch racist. Micon says, watch racist Karen whips black boys on YouTube. I think we watched that on this. We watched that here, I think, or no? Let me see. Racist Karen. What the fuck is this? Okay, I'll watch this in a oh, fuck. We'll watch this in a second.
I think rich people will support whoever's in power, number one, but they want to transfer wealth from the poor to the rich.
Okay, idiot. Elon Musk didn't support Donald Trump because he got into power. He got Donald Trump into power. You understand? You fucking retard.
They've been really good at doing it. The biggest issue, I think the reason the Democrats lost is because they pretend that there is no problem. I think inflation, a big part of inflation is that companies realize they can just charge you more and say it's somebody else's fault. A lot of it's price gouging. That's true. And
everything gets so much more expensive.
And companies are, some of it is just real inflation, but some of it is companies are hiding behind inflation. And like, Democrats did nothing to stop price gouging, right? They didn't even say they were going to do it. You can't tell people that things are going good when they're just clearly not. The most important issue for people is that things are fucking more, they have no health care. Wage inequality is out of control. We're not.
This guy is such a fucking retard. Just write your stupid dick jokes and shut the fuck up, okay?
People's wages have not kept pace with how much bosses are earning.
Well, yeah. Well, what percent? I mean, Bernie Sanders said greatly that he thought if AI starts to happen for companies, right? So companies are making more money.
We don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you don't get anything and we keep all the fucking profits. And I do think, I think we talked about it a little bit last time where it's like AI as a tool to fucking do creative shit. It's so weird when it's like it should be making normal people's lives easier. It shouldn't just be for rich people to be able to charge less. Like there should be some protections for workers, and we should be able to you should be able to buy a house. All these regular issues that weren't really hit on. It was just, well, you got to vote for us because the other person's worse. And even though I think that is true, that's not a winning message. That's nothing, especially when the other side is offering, they're at least saying shit's bad.
Well,
yeah, they're saying it's for the wrong reasons. I don't think.
Okay, cool, Stavros. Thank you so much. I'll watch Black Woman Whipping Whips. What is this? Or Karen Whipping Black Boys.
Hey! What did I tell you criminals about coming back to my neighborhood?
Oh no, Roy, let's just get out of here.
No, Vince.
All right, this is not real. I thought it was real. I didn't care about that. I thought it was actually like a real prank. Oh! All right, let's learn. Let's learn a little bit. This is on the timeline YouTube. I just discovered this. I've not really didn't search this out. It says Jewish phenotypes. The hawk. Okay. The troll. I can sort of see this. The demon. The nightmare. Oof. Yeah, the rat. And the goblin. All right. I'm not going to say anything further about that. Oh God! Look, this is the black guy goes. You won't see one person complain that he isn't blonde. By the way, yes, because that's not what it's about. It's about that black people weren't Vikings. You fucking retard. That's it. It's as simple as that.
Can you? Excuse me? Can you it?
Okay. This guy was doing pretty cool.
Oh, nigga.
Honestly, Myron Gates was doing some pretty cool shit. Let's see.
Throw the whole time.
Wait, he had some pretty funny stuff. Wait. Oh yeah, and they're collabing with this guy. Like Handsome Truth is becoming like a big guy too. What the fuck? What is a fun cartoon?
You could suck.
Couche, what do you got to say, you dumb whore?
You dumb whore.
You could suck my dick. That's what the fuck I got to say. You fucking Gaza looking ass rat looking ass bitch. Nah, and I'm gonna show you what the fuck a nigger is. Since you want to be funny, I'm gonna be funny too. Y'all all want to be funny. I'm gonna show you what the fuck a nigger is with your fucking Gaza.
Okay, wait. This
shit
one.
On I've seen your little shit on Instagram and all this other stuff. One thing I don't do, Myron, I don't play, bruh. You don't know me. I don't know you. I came.
Of course, here comes the violence.
Hold on, Myron.
Here we go.
Hold on, motherfucker.
Here we go.
No, hold on. No, we ain't going no fucking where.
Here comes the watermelon warrior.
Listen, dude, I did time.
Oh, of course. Of course you did time, you watermelon warrior. Prove all the stereotypes right. Immediately escalating to violence. You stupid nig. Literally, bro, you can't make this shit up. Can't make this shit up. I did time in prison. Like, that's a fucking flex, bro. Show me respect. I was in time. I did jail. We was kings.
You trying to skip me, Myron?
Black Mark, you weren't being called on, bro, so shut up.
Hey, fuck you.
You fucking dumb nig. Like, bro, look at you, man. You're literally behaving like a fucking monkey right now, right? Literally didn't call on you. There's a fucking order here. This isn't the fucking wild jungle. You fucking Donkey Kong faggot.
I'm a white civil rights lawyer that spent the last 10 years.
Congratulations. You're probably also a Jew. Shut the fuck up, faggot. What the fuck, man? I'm a white civil rights lawyer, and I gotta say something here. Fuck you. Fuck you. Do I look like a fucking bar exam, motherfucker?
I've seen.
Do I look like a fucking bar exam, motherfucker? Yeah, I had no idea, right? I didn't know that either, that this guy was this heckin' based. Fucking watermelon warrior clan meeting? What the
fucking bunny hopping looking ass dick.
Yo, she proves all the stereotypes. This bitch, man. Yo, suck my dick, nigga. Bro, it's fucking comedy. Holy shit. Black women, bro. Yo, y'all should be ashamed, man. Holy. Bitch comes in, literally just says all the fucking typical ratchet shit. She probably got Cardi B in the back right now hyping herself up.
Look, that's
like,
the
holy
shit.
bro.
Look, he's black, so he can get away with this. It's good content because he's like interacting with all the black circuit. He's like a dam, like a dike for all the black crap. Yeah, let him deal with all that. We don't need to deal with this. I'm not gonna call out black activities. You know, that's kind of good content that the guy's gonna listen. Shut the fuck up. What do you think? That's a flex that you went to prison? You fucking, you know, he gets to say all that stuff. Let's go back to the TL a little bit. But I'm also launching my own Stone Toss nothing like Stone Toss, but in terms of like 4-panel political commentary cartoons. If you're in our Discord, Chris, do you have the Discord link? You're the mod here. Can you post a Discord link for the people in the Discord? We need more Euros in there. Oi! What is this? Oh, my wife is back. it's not that hot in the time. Oh, look, let's see what they're. Let's see what my nigga. Oh, look, we got Adam Green. I was on his stream last month. We got Gnostic Informant talking one of the rabbis. This rabbi, I fucking hate that guy. Super Stimulated Minotaur says, Sven, explain that Game Grumps animated you made a decade ago. You want me to explain that? What is there to explain? Should I pull it up? That's not even a decade ago. That's like 20 years ago at this point, dude. What the fuck? See, Sven. Yeah, back in the day, you had a lot of Game Grumps things, and it was always like they were animating like little situations, and I thought I'd change it up a little bit. I just took one line, and it made this cute little animation.
Yeah. Holy shit, these popsicles explode!
By the way, you need to understand, back in the day, this is like fucking 13 years ago at this point, I guess. And by the way, YouTube time is never right. This can't be 13 years ago, is it? Or 12 years ago. This has to be longer than that. But yeah, it was all just like cutesy pootsy patootsy. This is back when JonTron was still on Game Grumps, like the first year. Yeah, and he shoots diarrhea out of his colon. That was like...
Yeah. Holy shit, these popsicles explode!
Wait, JonTron commented on it? Oh yeah, he did. Wow, amazing. Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, JonTron apparently... JonTron noticed me. I literally didn't even know that. Do you guys remember that this is really crazy? Like my animation career, back when I was just starting off with stuff like this, Ego Raptor was the... And by the way, yeah, guys, genuinely go check out The Great Rebellion. That looks like a great game. What was it again? What was I saying again, dude? I'm fucking... My brain is Korsakoffed. Yo, I literally don't remember what I was gonna do. Something with Game Grumps? Oh yeah, Ego Raptor. Ego Raptor did this series. It was like a parody on... This is genuinely funny. This is back when Ego Raptor was really genuinely still funny. This is like 14 years ago, okay? Now, anyways, he did this series, Girl Chan in Paradise, which was like a parody on all these manga or anime tropes. And then he did a contest, and you had to design a new character, a character for Girl Chan Paradise, and whoever won, it was going to be a new character in the cast of fucking Girl Chan Paradise. And I fucking won. I won the character. I can show you my I don't know where it is, but maybe in my Newgrounds DMs. And I was talking to Ego Raptor. He's like, yeah, you're going to be the one, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, that's fucking awesome. And then he never animated again. Then he quit animating. He started Game Grumps and never made a single animation again. Imagine that. How awesome would that have been, that timeline? I would be gay now, living in LA, being a gay Let's Player. By the way, I need to tell you something, right? So similarly to not similarly, the opposite. Like the guy that just was on the show, Roland, God bless his soul, go get his game. He was like, oh, I got red pilled in 2015 when the immigration crisis happened. And you hear Nick Fuentes going, I got red pilled by Trump in 2016, and I got red pilled during what's that again? Wall Street. What was that again? That shit. I was driving around when I was 8 years old with swastikas on my bicycle wheels. I did show and tells about Adolf Hitler, okay? I was born based. You understand me? I never had a liberal phase. You understand? Niggas. What we were doing again? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, this. I want to see
Does
this.
Esau slash Edom represent today, and what will happen to them in the end times?
Oh, so that's really easy. So Edom is Christendom.
This fucking rabbi, I hate him. Fucking hate that guy
Who
so
does
much.
Esau slash Edom represent today, and what will happen to them in the end times?
Oh, so that's really easy. So Edom is Christendom. It is the implacable enemy of the Jewish people.
The concept of Esav as Edom and as Rome was changed, transformed into a religion. So therefore, any nation that has that religion can be considered Esav. See? So therefore,
Look, this is what I'd like to see. Winston says, I got red-pilled by Sven Stoffels. I think Azrakol got red-pilled by me, too. That's good. I like to see that a lot more.
it's not one nation that is now 2,000 years or whatever, but it is a religion, and any nation that has that religion predominantly is called Esav. Christianity, of course, ultimately became Western civilization. So Esav today is really Western civilization, because Western civilization is basically Christian, and therefore that is considered to be Esav.
Esav, who became Edom, who became the Roman Empire, which metamorphosed into the Christian Empire, which became Christian civilization, which is now
interesting.
represented by the United States of America, will suffer a crushing, humiliating defeat.
Esau is everything that's wicked in the world, and it's the Edom. Esav is Edom. It's the final kingdom of the four kingdoms. It's the greatest, the most implacable enemy of the Jewish people. Prophesy. We have whole books devoted
They're
to the
saying
destruction of
The
Edom
United
at the
States
end of
in
days.
Europe is the
last
biggest
kingdom.
enemy of
In
them.
traditional Jewish thinking, it's the church. It's the implacable enemy of the Jews. It's a morphing kingdom. It's unlike the previous kingdoms. It begins as Rome, and then it morphs, becomes Christian in the 4th century, and then it divides and divides and divides.
So who's Edom? Edom includes most of Europe. It includes the United States of America. It's the Roman Empire that was never destroyed.
Our
Edom
greatest
becomes America.
ally.
Why? Because America is Edom, after all.
Esav?
They
in
literally
modern day
they're
terms
saying
is really
it.
basically, certainly one of them is America.
But for those who don't understand that Italy is the seat of the Roman Empire of Edom, even though Edom is scattered, many other nations today that speak Latin languages that have something of the Roman Empire, including America. They are first. So Edom is everywhere, and the United States of America is also part of Edom.
Malchut Edom, which includes all of America, Europe.
My con says Newgrounds is underappreciated and ahead of its time. Yeah. So in terms of like indie animation style and animation influence, you have like the industry that turned into Bean. Oh, by the way, and I'm gonna have a great interview about animation. I think on Saturday with John K. Respecter. He's a huge influential vlogger and stuff like that about like the animation industry. We're gonna have an interview with him on Saturday, I think. So hit the bell notification and all that shit. It's gonna be in a less ungodly time. We're gonna be talking about animation. But yeah, I think so. What happened is you have the industry that morphed into like bean mouth, sort of like faux rubber hose stuff. Like it started sort of like with Adventure Time, and everything started to become queer with that, like Steven Universe shit like that. And then you have like the indie guys, and now they became mainstream with like Psychic Pebbles and stuff like that. They did more like the crazy expressions and shit like that, which came from the school of thought of John Kricfalusi and his vlog. I learned animation from John Kricfalusi's vlog, the guy who made Ren and Stimpy. That's basically how I learned animation. You know what I'm saying? John K. did nothing wrong. Yeah, I agree. Mike says Doug Tenable is super left wing. His evangelism is a bit. I don't think so. He's like extreme conservative boomer neocon. That's what he is. You know, he says shit like bomb the Christ into those Arabs. You know, it's pretty cute. You know what I'm saying, to be honest. I will never say a bad thing about Doug Tenaple. I love that guy. Super Stimulated Minotaur says Smiling Friends is kind of mid. Not gonna lie, I like Smiling Friends. I think it's actually really good. I don't think it's mid. I like it. I think it's really good actually. Drop down and give me 10 RT. I forgot. Speaking of truth, was a barvable. Yeah, can you drop down and do a barv, please?
Europe and some of the Western Quarter.
Who becomes the children of Esav?
Holy shit! Look at this.
Shifts
look at
now.
Rowan Atkinson with
And we
pointy,
talk about
pointy
Galut
ears.
Edom as whom?
Holy
as Rome,
fuck.
and eventually Western civilization.
The Edomites are the descendants of Edom, who is also known as Esau, Jacob's evil twin. Our tradition tells us that the Edomites are the ancestors of the Romans, and indeed of all Europeans and the entire Christian world.
Esav.
So their religion
the
tells
symbol
them
of
that
all the
Europeans and Americans need to die.
Christians or not.
Rome is the last empire of the 4 empires that subjugated the Jewish people. Edom, Rome is the worst of all. And Edom is going to be destroyed. We have entire books in Tanakh devoted to the destruction of Edom. It's finished, it's gone, no more.
The West is Rome.
That's
According
what
to the
they're doing.
simple meaning, Europe and America are really one.
Smiling Friends is nerfed for sure. Zach Hadel made base jokes. Yeah, but I think Zach Hadel still makes based jokes on like Oni plays and stuff like that. I love that guy. Zach Hadel is fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you can't be too strict with this type of stuff. It might be a little nerfed. It could have maybe done better as like an internet show. Maybe. But I like Smiling Friends and I love Zach Hadel and I love Oni. I think those guys are really good.
Entity. But we know one thing, right? That when it comes to the classic Rome, which is Europe, they're finished.
Esav, Edom, is the implacable enemy of the Jew, and identify.
Yeah, we all got to get Sven and Black. Yeah, I would love to talk to Black Pill. Can we get that one going? That's like one of my
But it's really that fourth horse.
most anticipated interviews.
Their mark is eagle, and that's really the sign of
It's going to happen, but you guys can make it happen. You guys need to tweet at him. Get on Sven Streams. Do
all
Sven
the
Streams.
empires,
It only takes
they all
2.
have the same symbol.
Just do it for a couple of weeks.
Describes then this force that's going to be destroyed like a marine creature, like a fish. It should be stated, I know for most people they think that the symbol of Christendom is a cross. As it turns out, the symbol of the cross for Christianity, relatively speaking, is rather late. The early and most primitive Christian symbol is the fish because of the acronym of its name. So the fish is the ancient symbol of Christendom. It's really not until you get to the 4th century, until you get to Constantine, does the cross emerge as the chief symbol of the church. And it slithers from one place to another place because Christendom has managed not just to remain isolated and local to Rome, remain local to Edom in that area, but rather it slithers and emerges.
So these psychopaths, this psychopathic death cult literally has us in our grips, and yet they want to fulfill this. Like we live in a society, we live in a world where there's literally an elite class that believes in a doomsday prophecy. It's like a movie. It's like the Avengers. They made the Avengers, so you know what I'm saying. They make the movies, so that's why it's very similar. That's literally what's happening, and they all want to play a part in it, right? They want to go into the history books as the ones that fulfill their prophecy.
In different nations all over the world, and this has to be utterly destroyed because Christendom is the religion of Rome.
And this is written over 2,000 years ago. And in the future, the sons of Ishmael are future to arouse huge wars all over the world. Now it's going to happen. They're going to go against the entire world, the sons of Edom. And they're going to go and gather war against the rest of the world. The sons of Edom, these are the Christians. So all the Muslims, this is a prophecy from over 2,000 years ago. The Muslims are going to go and they're going to infect the rest of the world. Everywhere they're going to go, they're going to cause havoc They're going to cause riots, they're going to cause wars, and they're going to go against the land of Edom, the nation of Edom, which in our generation, this is the Christians it's talking about.
In Isaiah chapter 6.
Wait, can we listen some more to that guy? Because he's basically laying it all out. I'd like to see what's going to happen in the next few years.
53. The day of the great and terrible day of the Lord.
Hey, what's up,
It says
cock?
that the Lord will come out from a place called Edom
Cock
and he will
launch.
crush Edom. Now, I'm
Crush.
just a broadcaster here, okay? In Jewish understanding, Edom is really talking about the Christianity. Okay? Christianity is called
Say
Edom.
it again.
Christianity is Edom.
The Edom in Asa was called Edom, and his descendants were known as the nation of Edom. According to Chazal,
I want to draw
Edom
comics. I
is
don't
the
want to
father
listen to
of
this.
Rome, what would later become the Roman Empire.
All the mountains are going to be full of blood of the corpses of Edom.
I want to
Because of
finish
the
this, though.
vengeance that Hashem is going to take.
I feel like they're getting to a point.
Will rise and will destroy completely the city of Edom and will completely uproot them.
But regarding Esau, Edom, we stress their complete destruction and that God will throw them into the endless pit.
Here's Mike Hunt. So he's like,
darkness and
I'm not that
oblivion."
keen on Islam myself. Here's the thing again. Light switch brain. Just because Muslims suck doesn't mean that they now need to become a Zionist. You know what I'm saying?
Regarding the total obliteration of Esav, we
You
also
got to
have
get
an
Adam.
entire
And
book
I
of
was
the Bible.
on Adam Green show.
Verse
though.
18 of the single chapter.
I don't know. What are we going to talk about? I mean, maybe.
Read as follows. Then the house of Jacob will be like fire, the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau will be straw.
I mean, like, we
They will
got
set
it.
them
Right?
alight
We
and
get the whole
consume them.
Jewish
They will-
conception or deception. All right. Comics Gate troubles.
You trying to kill me?
Well, it just broke.
You trying to fucking kill me?
She is non-tent, Job. I can't take another minute of this. She is making you do it because she can't do anything.
This is really a nightmare. German nationalist and author Ursula. Yes, baby. What's up, babe? I'm still streaming, yeah. I'm going to be done soon. Oh, I got a super chat.
TRT tipped $5. Disgusting, ugly and awful creatures. They look unwashed and unwell. They look like the spread sickness. Yuck.
Okay. Yeah, guys, I think, what is this?
It's so horrific. The Nazi thing, the fact that it's so horrific, it just like puts anyone who has anything to say that's coloring outside the lines. You get labeled a Holocaust denier, an anti-Semite, you know, the worst labels that they can put on you. And a good example of that is that podcast. Oh God, I forget his name. But it was the Tucker Carlson controversy where he had this guy on his podcast and he was talking about
David Irving?
what William Churchill's role in the Holocaust was, because they had put these embargoes on Germany and basically starving everybody to death.
Guys,
and
go
they
check
just
out
started calling him
Irving.
a Holocaust denier. And that's like not what he was talking about at all. That's not what he was saying at all. He was just saying, no, there's a multifaceted
Sven, why did the Germans all love Adolf so much? Because he brought them back from the brink of destruction, because he got rid of degeneracy, because he gave them all jobs
starving people out.
and families.
What is his Daryl Cooper? And what is his podcast called? It's excellent. I listen to it all the time, but my brain's not working right
He
now.
gave them back their
I
dignity,
just got out of the gym.
which they deserve.
I'm on meathead mode.
It's something. I know what you're talking about. I can't. I'm drawing a blank on it as well.
They're all
Martyr
too
Maid,
afraid
that's
to
right. Martyr
chime in
Maid.
because
He's
it's about
Martyr
the
Maid
Holocaust.
on Twitter and Instagram, and you know, to call that guy an anti-Semite or a Holocaust denier is so stupid. He's a brilliant guy, and his podcast is excellent, and he's really sensitive and well balanced, and he gives a very comprehensive view of things.
Based
It's
Joe
not
Rogan.
in any way
Pushing against
prejudiced.
Look, this is
it's a great
edgy.
podcast.
But you're not. This is the definition of edgy, right? There's the edge of the acceptable, and you go, well, listen, and you push it a little bit. You push it a little bit to the right.
allowed to color outside the lines.
Well, yeah, that's all he was just saying that Churchill was one of the villains.
Coloring outside
And
the
that's
lines.
That's
Which you don't recommend
realistic.
if you
Like
want to make
the
a good piece of
multiple
art.
different
You shouldn't do
reasons
that.
for that. You tighten up their belt, that's not going to be passed to the top. That's going to go straight to the people in the camps.
Exactly.
It's real. That's no brainer shit. Right.
And
I
that's
don't even have
not
to see the podcast to
justifying
put it
the
together.
murder of all those Jews. That's not what he's
Clearly.
doing.
The
That's
alleged
what's so crazy about
murder.
stifling discourse.
Yeah.
Because that was a
I know, he's
fascinating
a
conversation.
he's a
we
massive
should be
liberal,
considering now. Like,
dumb,
wow,
but,
that's crazy. There were
you
so
know-
many factors. There's so many horrible things.
Look, I understand Joe Rogan. You're not going to go to Joe Rogan for your reality and your based takes. But to have massive liberal Joe Rogan go, listen, I think we should be able to question the Holocaust a little bit. That's pretty good. That's not too bad, you know? Maybe eventually we'll get to the truth of things. Doubtful, but
Things
maybe.
going on all together.
Well, they say you're supposed to learn from history, but how the fuck are you going to learn from history if you actually take the lessons out of it?
Right.
I mean, this is an important thing here. You think about this right now with the stuff in the Middle East in the last 20 years. Every
Sure.
time we put an embargo on there, we're not starving Saddam Hussein. We're starving the people in his freaking prisons. Remember
Yeah.
that.
Dave Smith was talking about that on a podcast recently that during the Clinton administration, the embargoes starved to death 500,000 children.
Yeah. See, that's fucked.
Yeah.
And that's worth remembering. And it doesn't, if having that conversation makes somebody call you a Holocaust denier, that person should be out of the conversation, in my opinion.
Right.
And like you were saying, academia is chock full of those kinds
And
of
they should
fucks
be
right now.
shamed.
They
They should be shamed by people who want to know the whole picture.
The
Joe
opposite
is
of knowledge.
dumb
Right.
enough
It's,
to
it's certainly not
accidentally
condoning
JQ, yeah.
holocausts. It's so stupid to not be looking at everything.
Yeah, I agree, Joe Rogan. The marketplace of ideas. What is this?
What are you doing?
Goy slop. What is this?
Truth is, we do stray away from acknowledging legitimate criticism of the black American. For example, one thing that I absolutely hate, and I wish I could string up every last one of these balls, when I see a black male walking around with his pants below his butt, he looks like a homosexual. He looks like a immature person. He looks like a follower. And to me, he's an idiotic little monkey, and I would like to hang him and let him die
Now
like
look,
that with his parents watching. and I'll string
Conservatives
him up afterward
again.
for not
Don't fall for this. Okay, look. I want to get to your reaction from chat.
raising him right. Every time I see that, it gets me flaming mad because they degrade my image as a black man. You heard me? So anyways, we have to acknowledge legitimate criticism. The black woman is a fat, beastly, rude, masculine character on average. The black American male is an effeminate, emotional, unmanly, irresponsible, homosexual-like character on average. And those are legitimate criticisms that we need not lament.
No, I think the average American boomer conservative is gonna even go like, whoa. Okay, listen, I agree with it, like, but behind closed doors, but ooh. But then you have like a lot of conservatives go, yay, the black guy's saying it, yay. Now I can go, yes, I agree. They should not walk around with their ass hanging out. Yeah, they should behave better. Now they get. This is tokenism, right? This is one of them niggas that like he figured it out. He understands the algorithm. He understands this is where the money is at, nigga. Talk about conservative talking points. And you're gonna get a lot of ad revenue. There's like a big. Here's the thing. What you don't understand is there's a pool of ad revenue, right? And on YouTube and all these marketing ad social media platforms. A lot of it goes to liberal platforms, and because there's just not enough like monetized conservative representation, that pool sits there. And yeah, if you're a black guy, if you're a black guy listening to this, which is doubtful, make a black conservative channel where you just lightly say things like, hey, you just do like Bill Cosby in the 90s. You go like, pull up your pants, stick with your woman, have Christian values, Christ is king. blah, blah, blah. And maybe you do like a reaction to like Nirvana or the Beatles and you go, damn, that shit slaps. You're going to be rolling in money. You're going to be rolling in money. There's nothing gayer than a black conservative, or rather than like a conservative going like, oh, you see, we're not the racists. Send them all back to Africa, please. Send them all back. Oh, you don't want to have black people have their butts hanging out? How about you join them and go back to Africa? Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, Christ is king. How about you go worship Christ on like a little dirt cookie over there in the savannah? Okay, go play a bongo over there. Thank you so much. I don't give a shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Other work on fixing, and it gets me pissed mad every time I see one of these little fruitcakes with a butt out. Like, bruh, you think I wanna see your butt? If it was legal, I would
Babe,
stab
can you get
them
me
to
another
death
beer,
and sleep
please?
like a baby. In fact,
Babe.
I might feel even better. I might have too much energy to sleep. I might just be
I'm
so enthused
I'm
that
getting
I made the
new
world a
energy
better
looking
place.
at black conservatives, babe.
Now let's get back to what the gentleman said.
Babe, what do you think of black conservatives? Tell me. Babe, what do you think of black conservatives? What are you laughing at? Excuse me? What, babe, what was I yelling yesterday on the motorcycle when I was wearing my Burger King crown? What word was that? Nigger! Babe, don't say that! Oh my God. Can you guys believe she said it? Oh my God. I didn't think she was going to say it. I didn't think she was going to say it. Oh no. I didn't think she was actually going to say it. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't think she was going to say it. Yeah, she said bigger, by the way. I was saying bigger. Yeah, she said figure. Shh. Don't say it again. I'm going to get banned. Oh my God. Babe, you should wear this crown.
You should put the name in the crown.
What name? No, babe. We're going to get banned.
Really?
Is it cold in here? Can I adjust your radio signal? She just called me a pervert. Anyways, what were we looking at? Yeah, based black guy. Oh God, is Tim Pool still here? I thought Tim Pool was gone by this point. This is a funny image. If I was doing an art gallery, I would have somebody paint. Imagine you're in an art gallery. I see. This is art. This picture right here. Driving around shining animal wearing a Burger King crown. You don't believe me? Wait, let me show you. I have a video of it. I uploaded it to Instagram, but then I thought, oh, you know what? That's actually not smart.
Nigger. Nigger. Oh shit, there's one over there. Nigger. N-word. Nigger. Nigger. Oh shit, there's one over there.
Hey. Wait.
1 second.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
Nigger.
I'm on main channel. Okay, sorry. I'm saying Tigger from the movie Winnie the Pooh. I was so excited that Tigger finally went into what's that called? Royalty free. What's that called again? Chris, this is what I subscribe for. Listen, you just you need to exact your freedoms, you know what I'm saying? It feels so good. It feels good to just kind of like go nuts. Public domain. Yeah, I was so excited about Winnie the Pooh going public domain. And of course, one of the greatest characters in Winnie the Pooh is Tigger. Which sounds a lot like a very bad word, which I would never say, and neither would my wife. But I was just like so excited. Like, Tigger! Get it? Tigger? Fucking goddamn Tigger. Yippity-bee! Okay, let's see what else we got over here. Oh yeah, this.
Happened to
They went over this on the Ethan Van Sciver stream, this one, which you all should go check out. I did a 4-hour-long Ethan Van Sciver stream this morning. I've been streaming all day yet again. I thought I was going to be done streaming after my Butch Killigan launch. I guess it's just never going to stop. This is just my life now.
Jay Leno. Oh, your poor face.
I got my third book to get started on, dude. How am I ever going to finish this third book? Here's the thing. You know what I'm planning? I want to just really go nuts mode, right? Like fucking crazy mangaka mode, where I just sleep under my desk in my own fucking filth, and just get the third book out, 120 pages in 6 months. That's what I want to do, dude. I'm just gonna go fucking crazy. I am the fastest in the game. Watch that goddamn Comics Gate. Like, Ethan Van Sciver was like, what the fuck? So you... And you guys, you need to understand something. He'll show you some of the pages that I did. Where is it? Here. He'll show you some of the pages that I did. I basically finished a short comic book that these guys take fucking months to finish in a week. 1 week it took me. And the quality is 10 times better than the average. Okay? Now, what am I going to say here? Am I going to be humble? No, I'm an idiot savant. This is what I know how to do. Butch Killigan 3, I'm going to have that out in 6 months. I hope so. Sven, you will look asymmetrical at the end. Oh, by the way, yeah, me and my wife, yesterday, I got a Lomi massage. Lomi. Have you heard about that? That's the good part about being an artist in Bali. You just get to go have these massages. Cost nothing. Cost like $10, and you get like a 2-hour deep tissue massage. I remember in my neighborhood where I lived in the Netherlands, there was a Balinese massage therapist. She counted like 90 euros which is like $100 for a 1 hour or like a 90-minute Balinese massage. Here it's $10. You know what I'm saying? Mike Hunt says, I think the second half of Butch Killigan felt more like a comic book. What the fuck are you talking about? The first half looked like an animator trying to draw a comic. You know, that's interesting. Look, how about you do an interview? Do a review. I want to see more video reviews, because I like that feedback. I'd like to hear about that. Oh, that's what's happening? Because when you're drawing... And by the way, that's interesting. And then the second book that's done right now, I'm still doing some finishing touches because Kickstarter is still not locked in. So until... The digital version is probably going to be out around Christmas. I think I'm going to drop it around Christmas. Seems like a good time to drop that one, the digital version of Butch Killigan 2. But yeah, Butch Killigan 2 is going to be completely different again. And even in the development of Butch Killigan 2, you're going to see like me figuring out the medium even further. You know what I'm saying? I'm figuring out the medium as I go. So that's actually very interesting. That's more interesting for you than it's for me. More for me, it's interesting to figure out a medium, but for you to read it and you see like, oh wait, the storytelling style changes throughout the book. That's actually cool. 'Cause this is my first book series. Like, this is very much experimental. By the way, so Butch Killigan, it's 9 books, and I'm simultaneously writing 9 books. You guys don't even know. And by the way, most of Butch Killigan, I've been writing this for years, has been written in an extreme state of inebriation. It literally is a madman's psychopathic thoughts brought to life during various stages of his life. You know what I'm saying? Come on. How is that not? That's like the most interesting thing. Like, what are you going to read? Magic Man, Power Man 4. Or here, I'm trying to... another superhero that's going to fight a villain. What the fuck? Gives a shit? Who gives a fucking shit about another superhero in a bad uniform? What's the story even about? What are you going to talk about? It's just a hero defeating evil? Good versus evil again? Where's your point of view? I would honestly say, like, if a creator can't talk and communicate their point of views, and they're not thinking about life and they're not philosophizing, you shouldn't even be drawing or painting or making any music at all. What are you doing? Like, there's certain guys that appear in the street. I don't want to be too evil or too critical, but there's guys in the street that are like super quiet. It's like, what do you have to say then if you can't say it with your voice? You know, there's something to say. Some people are more comfortable. That's why they become artists. They express themselves through a medium. But it's like, to me, what's the most interesting part is, and I've looked at propaganda. I've read books about propaganda, and I've read books about art, and I've formulated thoughts about what should be what and how it works. And I think about life, and I think about the future, and I think about death, and I think about the utility of violence. And a lot of books tell you there's power is in friendship. And you should turn the other cheek. How about we explore the other side of things? How about we go into the dangerous path? How about we dive into the void and see maybe there's some truths that maybe are not normally considered conducive to a society at large, but you know, you're an indie comic, you're allowed to explore the opposite side of the aisle. How about that? Yeah, so this guy joined the Black Eye Club.
Gosh, Jay Leno is all bruised up. The left side of his face is black and blue. His eye is swollen shut.
Yeah, Jessica says there's a reason the message is to forgive and not hunt down your enemies. That's true. So how about we have a revenge story? Revenge at the end turns out to be super sweet. That's never been done. You'd think it's, And by the way, Butch Killigan is much, much, much deeper than that. You're going to get... It's a survival guide, right? You're gonna learn that even if you think you're a dissident from the Matrix, like Andrew Tate calls it, you're still a player. It's gonna actually teach you some deep, new lessons that are not regurgitated from Hollywood. It's actually an anti-Hollywood story. And it has nothing to do with Hollywood, but it's in terms of Hollywood story structure that's being regurgitated over and over and over again. There's different types of stories that can be told. But yeah, you need people that actually know what the fuck they're doing to tell them. And that's where the indie scene comes in. And I think the indie scene needs a lot of work. But look, I'm still relatively young. We'll figure it out. There's real good guys. There's Alex Wisner. There's Hubs in our Discord, who's a really good artist. Like that Hobbs is like 10 times better than most of the people that are being pushed forward in these streams.
And look at his injured wrist.
I broke my wrist, lost the nail on the finger, and then I'm all black and blue.
The comedian says he fell down a 60-foot hill.
I said, well, the hill doesn't look that steep. Let me take
Yes,
it.
I'm healing the sector and building bridges.
That's not true. No, that's true.
Jay Leno says he was staying at a Hampton Inn about 30 miles outside of Pittsburgh on Saturday night when he wanted to have dinner at a local restaurant before his show. Instead of walking a mile and a half down the road, he decided...
these fucking guys. And look what they say. A hill didn't do this to Jay Leno. Then who did it? Okay, you just pointed. You're just reacting now. Here's the thing. That's what like conservative, cute tart people do. They point at something. This is not like it seems. This is not like it seems. This is not what it might seem like. It's different. Okay, then what is it, fucking faggot? What is it then? I'm just here to make you think and ask questions. Bitch made fucking fag.
And only Stu Peters. Who's ready for this?
Oh, you know what? They have Stu Peters on. That's pretty cool.
My older brother, he's a huge fan of yours. Yeah. You have to watch Stu Peters.
All right, I'll take back what I said about the Hodge twins.
I'm sure before you had me here, you Googled me. Right? Or looked me up somewhere, and then there's the Wikipedia, and then there's like all the articles. Yeah, you're like a far-right white supremacist. That's what they say. I was like, well, we got this guy. This guy's Hitler. They labeled you as a conspiracy theorist, but you have all the receipts.
Every single military intervention that we have been in has been funded by the Rothschilds. So just think about that. The bankers tell us when to open our borders. The bankers tell us when transgenderism should be accepted. The bankers tell us when we're facing systemic racism and when to riot. We don't do anything with or without the permission of the bankers.
For some odd reason, I got recommended a Hitler speech, transcribed in English. I thought I was going to hear some vile, disgusting things, right? I heard him, I was like, I wish somebody for the United States would speak like that.
I guess this episode's not going on YouTube.
See,
so people are like, well, how are we going to afford all these deportations? Well, if we stop giving fucking Ukraine $100 billion and Israel trillions of dollars, and we're paying to carry out genocides, and then allowing them to displace these people and bring them into our country to replace Americans with third world savages that want to rape and pillage, that come here hating.
Gunga Gugungu says, are you flat earth or hollow earth? I'm hollow earth. I'm more of a hollow earth vril nigga.
Tell me how this could go wrong.
That's crazy. And then they have the nerve to call us anti-Semites. I was like, I don't hate Jesus Christ. You do. How am I anti-Semite?
That's probably the most base take. The people that Israel is killing right now, those are the real Semitic people. And the people that are doing the killing are not Semitic people.
They're from Europe, and it was brought to a Semitic region to the world.
That Benjamin Netanyahu, Benjamin Milkowski, as his real name is, is actually from Poland and is not Semitic at all.
So his real name is not Netanyahu?
No, and you're a Netanyahu if you believe it is.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This stuff sort of being mainstreamed, it just makes me very suspicious. I don't know. Yeah, they're doing they're not really Semitic, they're European. That's like an angle there, which is not that, which is suspicious. I'm hyper vigilant for these types of narratives. The fact that this is getting mainstreamed, how many people like this? This is 400,000 views. Mike Hunt says backgrounds in comics. Where is this coming from? Should be thought of as environments, not just backdrops, like a stage play. I don't know about that. It works in Dilbert, but it can look off in comics sometimes if the character looks like he's floating on the background. I don't know. Look, I fucking think backgrounds are very much secondary to like character action and emotions, obviously. So you have set and scene in a story. So I even think if you have a new scene, you set up the establishing shot of where the scene is taking place, boom, and then maybe another few shots, trails off. And I actually think you don't even need backgrounds from there forth. People know where we are. And unless the background is part of the story, like you have a fight in the next book, Butch Killigan is going to be fighting in a convenience store. And he's going to be fighting insects rights activists. And the convenience store is filled with like there's like spider ball gobstoppers, right? So the background is part of the story, it's part of the gag. And he's going to be using a bunch of like insect utensils and insect products to try to defeat, sort of like a Jackie Chan fight scene. He's also going to be naked during it, so he's going to try to cover his junk with weird insect things. Yeah, in that sense, you need to be drawing the background elements. But if like two characters, imagine there's like a scene where two characters are meeting at the train station to deliver a package, and it's like dialogue or character interaction. You show the train station, then you show them on the fucking tracks coming, finding each other. You see like the surroundings. Everything can be white. Each background can be white from there on. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's set and scene. The people need to know where we are, and that's going to be in the background because they don't need to be focusing. The background is the background. They need to be focusing on what's being said, and they need to be focusing on the character interaction and the emotions that are being portrayed by the characters. So unless the background is directly involved with the storytelling, like I just said, convenience store where he's pulling props from the background to use, then you sort of you can't get around that. Yeah, Sin City Comics backgrounds are minimal too, and it works. Look, to me, I'm not really thinking about backgrounds when I do anything. I'm thinking about storytelling, and I want to ground people in the world. You'll see. Butch Killigan is going to come out next month at the end of December, hopefully, if Kickstarter, because there were some problems with Kickstarter. They need to lock down everything and all that stuff and surveys. But yeah, when you're gonna get a message on Kickstarter, by the way. You need to fill out your surveys for everybody who did a physical, who bought the physical copy. And here's the thing. I can only, whenever all that shit's done, I'm going to jump head first into Butch Killigan 3, and that's going to be even better than Butch Killigan 2. And I mean that. I literally put everything into my books, you know what I'm saying? Literally. I'm tackling, and like I'm relatively young when it comes to like comic book artists. When you look at like these Ethan Van Sciver streams with these veterans, they're all like in their 50s. So I got 20 years on them. Butch Killigan is 9 books. What am I going to do after Butch Killigan? I don't even know. I got a lot of ideas though, but we're not even going to go there. Jessica says, Festivals, you should set up some distribution in Bali, man. They love local artists in Indonesia. You know what's funny? I don't know what you're talking about, like set up distribution. What does that mean? I know what you mean, but I have done this. So my wife and I, we like to just go on little dates to like the cinema and stuff like that. And what you see when you go to like the cinemas here in Indonesia, it's all horror. The type of movies that Indonesia makes is like Asian horror movies. That's their bread and butter, okay? Now they're all the same. Like I've watched so many, and I love that shit. I love that shit. Even like in like the early 2000s when I was a little kid, I was like I would import like horror movies. I was mega into Takashi Miike, Ichi the Killer. That probably got me into it. I got like Japanese cuts of like Ju-on and like the Ring and shit. And I got into Asian horror because Asian horror, the reason why it's so scary is because there's this uncanniness. Because in Hollywood horror movies, you understand all the narratives. It comes from your culture. You understand all of it. And there's just an extra layer of just like weirdness to like Asian horror, right? Which horror needs. Horror needs the uncanny valley. And I would watch like weird Indonesian horrors and stuff. But now that I've been here, I've watched like 10 of them since I've been here. And it's like, okay, I'm kind of over it, to be honest. But I was like, you know what? What if I made like an Indonesian, Southeast Asian style horror manga? And by the way, this is not cutting into anything else I'm doing, but I kind of started writing it. I kind of started writing like my idea for like an Indonesian style. It's called Kepala Petani. This is a pipe dream. Maybe I'll do that sometime. Look, I could do that. I could do like an 80-page side project in a month because I'm fucking nuts. But I'd like to do something like that. My concept is maybe I'll just do a video, maybe an objective review and personal preference. But yeah, do that. I'd love to see that. I'd love everybody to do that. Buddhist mysticism is basically horror, yeah. But it's also just like this innocence about it. Make it about orang pendek. Which one is that one? Babe! Can you come here real quick? Who is orang pendek? What is that?
Orang pendek.
Yeah, who is orang pendek? It's a midget? If somebody says I should make a comic, because I was telling them about, like, I had an idea about making an Indonesian horror comic. Remember? Kepala Petani. Now everybody's going to scoop up my, the web editor.
Swan's gonna make about Tuyul.
Tuyul. Who's Tuyul again? The big tit one?
As a little boy stealing.
It's a little boy who steals money. A lot of the Indonesian horror is about people stealing money. I have I've noticed. Like you have Babi Nyepet, he steals money. Tuyul, he steals money. Sugihan. Sugihan. He steals money.
It's like fasting for weeks and weeks and weeks to get a power to.
You got to be fasting for weeks, and then you have the power to steal money. I think what do you think? Is it like because it's a third world country, the biggest fear people have is to lose their money?
No. There's a ghost named
Wewe Gombel.
It's still a little boy and cut his penis and put in under his breast.
Wait, can you speak out? You need to speak louder because people can't hear this.
And you explain.
Okay, there's a ghost. What is her name? There's a ghost named Wewe Gombel and
this ghost like
it cuts a little boy's dick off.
not off, it's like the skin.
It circumcises a little boy. And then what?
And then they keep it under her huge big breast.
Okay, so this woman, what is the name?
W-E-W-E.
Gambel.
Gombel. G-O-M-I-L-L.
Gombil.
Yeah. It's a huge tits, right?
Wait. Okay, so guys, again, yes. Like I was just saying, Asian horror, this is Wewe Gombel. It's a woman with huge tits. She circumcises little boys, and then she puts the circumcised foreskin under her huge tits.
Not the foreskin, the kids. It's
Wait, she cuts the boy's cock off and then puts the boy on her tit?
Yeah, like kidnap it and
Okay, so what's the point of cutting his cock off?
not cock. It's just
Okay, so Wewe Gambel goes around. Again, this is how it always goes. So I'm trying to think logically about this narratively, but it's like, no. So Wewe Gambel goes around. She circumcises the little boy. She doesn't put the foreskin under her tit. She leaves the foreskin. She puts the boy under her tit. Okay, and then what? What does she do?
and if she wants to bring back the kids, but the kids will be like retarded or something.
Wait, what did you just say? She wants to bring back the kids, but
If she wants, but most of the kids like not back to the parents. But if they can find it, they
Okay, so so she kidnaps the kids, puts them under the tit, and then if you manage to find your kid back, guys, the kid's retarded.
they can't talk anymore. Look,
The kid's retarded. If you manage to find your kid back after she gets... Look, that's why it just doesn't make any sense logically, right? Okay, well, that's awesome. So this is your favorite? Which one is your favorite?
what chong is my favorite?
Pochong. That's like the hopping one?
Yeah, it's jump.
All right, let's see. Oh yeah, I like Pochong too. Yeah, this guy's pretty cool. It's Pochong. Look at him. This is like a guy. This is like the funeral garb, right? And then they hop around. It's basically like a zombie.
And it's because when all Muslim is like they bury the body like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they forgot to take it off the tied in the head. That's why they're like, okay, put your clothes on, take it off.
Oh, so you're supposed to untie the garments, and when you forget to untie it, they come back and they want you to untie it.
That's just a myth.
No, babe, that's real.
Okay.
That's not a myth. That's real.
And in Bali, if you saw people like build the house and never fix, that means they do pesugihan, which means like if you...
Speak up, though. If you're in Bali...
Stupid.
No, it's real. If you're in Bali and there's unfinished real estate, what does that mean?
Like you see your neighbor always build the house and never fix.
Yeah.
They do pesugihan.
What is pusugihan?
Means like you work with evil to get...
Look, you see, guys, you see what I have to deal with? My wife just goes, yeah, that means it's pusugihan. How am I supposed to know what pusugihan means?
Yeah, that's pesugihan means like you make a tie with evil, but
Or you make a pact with the devil?
yeah, and then what do you want? Let's say you want to be rich. It's called pesugihan. And but
Oh, God. Say it!
even in Indonesia, there's a myth: if you find a money
Uh-huh.
somewhere, just,
If you find money on the floor,
and you use it,
yeah,
you're gonna be
circumcised.
sacrificed to evil.
So in Indonesia, if you find money, someone else's money, it's all about money. Have you noticed that? Everything's about money here, right?
People interest with money, so if you, when you work with evil,
Babe, your nipples are distracting me. Can you get me another beer, please? Anyways, if you lose money here and you spend it on something, you get cursed.
use it.
If you use it. I need to take a quick piss real quick, though.
That's insane. You told the story, but it's
Why? I'm in Indonesia. I should be. You're embarrassed that I'm revealing all you guys' secret? She's embarrassed that I'm revealing all the Indonesian retarded folklore. No, look. I like it because you know why? This is when I'm asking her about the folklore. It never makes any fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes things scary and now I'm sort of used to like Japanese horror cinema. I'm like aware of the tropes. But yeah, like in Indonesia, like in Indonesia you have like that ghost with like the head that floats with like the guts hanging out and stuff like that. And then if you act like, it just doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying, but that's what makes it so fucking scary. Like this one. So she's saying there's a woman with huge tits. She goes around, and she says she goes around circumcising little boys, and then she puts them under their tits. So I'm like, oh, so she cuts off the little boys' foreskins, and then she keeps them under their tits? No. She puts the boys under her tits. Like, what the fuck are you talking? What? Yeah, she circumcises the boys, leaves the foreskin, and then she puts them under her tit. For money? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Bong and blintz. Smoking a pancake. The Jew stuff, as always, in there. Yeah, there's some Jewish stuff. Now, look, yeah, that is very scary to have, like, knives around your cock. I understand that should be probably that. I think, like, knives around a cock is probably in a lot of different cultures, even without, like, without Abrahamic influence. That would be scary. Like, and if you look into Aztec cultures, there's probably a lot of cock chopping offery going on over there too. You know what I'm saying? Where did everybody go? I thought everybody would have liked that little insight into Indonesian horror. Are you guys still there? I'm going to drink another beer. I'm having such a good time, I'm going to have another beer. Yeah, they cut the bell end off. I left a super chat, says Mike Hunt. Okay, sorry about that. It's not showing up, dude. It's not showing up. My brother. Let me see. Oh, there. Shigurui. Oh, yeah, I love Shigurui. It's, yeah, it's good that you say that. You know what's funny? I don't know if I'm going to be able to visit my family, but Mike Hunt, you're about to become my best friend, because here's the thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it or not, because I'm so busy and I can't justify leaving for 2 weeks. But we like, what is that called when you pull like names and then you have to like buy one person a present? That's what we're doing this year, apparently. I hate that shit. And then you got to make like a little list of the presents that you would like. And I only put one present on there, and it was Shigurui, the manga Shigurui. Because look at this fucking shit. It's like a samurai manga, and it basically elevates I guess there is some homosexual shit that happens, but it elevates like the slicing of a sword through flesh. Like, this guy studied human anatomy to the point where he can depict a sword slicing through the middle of an arm. I read this manga before, but I would like to have the physical copy. And I need to get a lot more manga in my studio here anyways, because I have nothing. I have 2 volumes of Dandadan. That's basically it. Although Dandadan is getting pretty good, the anime. Oh! Has anybody watched Look Back? In the category of things that Sven likes? This is good. Watch this one. It's simple, and it's an hour long. It's not going to waste your time. Watch this one. I recommend it. This was made by the creator of Chainsaw Man, which is a pretty good anime. I enjoyed that anime. This is a movie based on one of his, or her, is it a woman? Is Chainsaw Man made by a woman? I don't know. I recommend this movie. It's simple. It's 1 hour long. It pulls on your heartstrings. It's about creativity, following your creative pursuits, and the sacrifices that come along with that.
藤野ちゃん、今週の4コマもすっごく面白かったよ。将来さ、漫画家なれるじゃん。漫画家か。今日もだよ。誰それ？
Gotcha, TK. I changed it. I didn't know that. Thank you so much.
藤野先生。京本。藤野先生は漫画の天才です。私、もっと絵上手くなるね。藤野ちゃんみたいに。
At some point, when I'm like 60, when I'm Ethan Van Sciver's age, I'm gonna make a manga about my own life.
そろそろ絵描くの卒業した方がいいよ。
Look. Softy anime, Svenny says. I like that stuff. Like, I like a Grave of the Fireflies, which you could call softy as well, right? Would you call that softy? Old Torf? Would you call Grave of the Fireflies softy, or like Studio Ghibli style stuff? Would you call that softy? Paprika was softly, and I love that movie. Paprika is one of my favorite movies of all time, by Satoshi Kon, which was probably one of the last visionary that guy went way too soon, and he's not celebrated enough. Satoshi Kon really, truly is one of the greatest geniuses. Millennium Actress, yes, but also Tokyo Godfathers, of course. That's probably my favorite. Okay, no, I got you, dude. You know your shit. Yeah, Satoshi Kon is really good. And Christmas is coming up. You know what? After this, we're going to watch Tokyo Godfathers. I want everybody to watch Tokyo Godfathers for Christmas.
漫画家か。今日もだよ。誰それ？隣の組にいる不登校とか。藤野先生。京本。藤野先生は
I'm going to watch this with my wife.
私、もっと絵上手くなるね。藤野ちゃんみたいに。京本も私の背中見て成長するんだな。あんたいつまで漫画描いてんの？そろそろ絵描くの卒業した方がいいよ。何してんだ私。じゃあ、藤野ちゃんは
Now, I would say if you are some kind of a creative, watch this movie. It's going to pull on your own heartstrings.
なんで私なんで描いたんだろう。もっと絵上手くなりたいもん。描いても何も役に立たないのに。
Yeah, Satoshi Kon gets plagiarized all the time by Hollywood directors. He was a true genius. Yeah, Aronofsky ripped him off with like what's that called again? The ballerina movie. Black Swan ripped off a bunch of fucking scenes. Okay, let's watch Tokyo Godfather. I'm gonna watch this tonight, I think, with my wife again. I've watched this literally 20 times, but look, forget that previous movie. That's like a newer movie that I wanted to suggest for you guys. It's good, it's really good. But if you don't have time to watch anything else, watch this one. And here's the thing, this movie, and I think even conceptually it started off as a live action movie. And it reads completely like a live-action movie. In a way, this really didn't need to be animated, really, because it's basically a live-action movie. But that's what makes it so interesting. That's what makes this so... it's amazing. I love this movie. When this came out in like the 2000s, I imported the DVD box set just because it had the storybook. Because what Satoshi Kon did is, Satoshi Kon, he would draw. This is what an auteur is. He drew out the storyboards, weren't just like ideas, and then it goes to the animation department and they do all the layouts. He laid out everything. The whole movie was there. It was basically animated. If you have any type of interest in animation or storyboarding or stuff like that, look up, watch this movie, and then look up the storyboards for this movie, because it's insane. It's just unheard of. It's a Christmas movie.
この子は神様がくださったクリスマスプレゼント。
It's a
私たち
tranny.
の子供よ。
大体こんなとこで赤ん坊の泣き声してる方が変じゃん。
だからって俺たちに何ができるんだ。
親を探すわ。
探すったって。つ
It's
まり
about
俺
a
た
group
ち
of
はてめえの
hobos who
面倒
finds
一
a,
つ
ch-
見
a
られ
little
ない
baby
ろくでなし
in
の
the
仲
trash.
良し3人組。十分やったじゃねえか。アクション映画の主役じゃねえ。
僕たち年末の大掃除に来ました。
ちょっと小さいか。
クリスマスの奇跡だね。
It's not the best trailer, but definitely go watch Tokyo Godfathers and this one, Perfect Blue by him. This is a different movie. This is very Lynchian. If you like David Lynch movies, watch this one, Perfect Blue. Really, really highly recommended. Now, Millennium Actress is a genius movie, but I understand it's way too conceptual and abstract for people. If you're not into anime, watch Tokyo Godfathers. Honestly, if you want to recommend anime to people and they don't get it, they think it's all like, oh, Pikachu or whatever. Now is the time for Christmas time. Have them watch Tokyo Godfathers. It's a great little tale, great little Christmas story. And it's beautifully animated. Great cinematography. It's awesome. And then after that, if they get into Satoshi Kon, have them watch this. Don't have them watch Paprika yet. Paprika, probably more so, more conceptually crazy, more abstract than even Millennium Actress. I would say this, then Paprika, then Millennium Actress. But
はい、5秒前。4、3、2。
this is so good. Yeah, this shot, Aronofsky's Black Swan ripped off. Basically, Black Swan is a remake of this movie. And I think they even sued him for it, right? Definitely go check that one out. Go check that one out. Go check out Tokyo Godfathers for Christmas. Here's the thing, for me it's weird because I'm completely not in the Christmassy vibe because I'm on a tropical island. Right now, if I go out to get a pack of cigarettes, it's like, oh my fucking Christ, my skin's getting burnt. It's fucking boiling hot outside, you know what I'm saying? There's no seasons here. I'd be careful because Japanese rip off a lot of obscure old Western stuff. Well, it goes to... What do you mean? I think you got it the wrong way around. Like, all our iconic... You're going to call me a weeb for this, but the iconic Fistful of Dollars Clint Eastwood movies were ripped off from fucking Japanese samurai movies, dude. It was the other way around. I think you misread that. I think we went over that even like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, the Kurosawa, the Japanese samurai movies, the Kurosawa ones, with The Stranger even. What was that one called, specifically? That the Clint Eastwood movies, Fistful of Dollars. What do they call the Clint Eastwood this trilogy again? The Dollar Trilogy or something. Yeah, Jojimbo, but I don't think it was Jojimbo that he was ripping off, right? Which one was it? The Man with No Name trilogy? Fistful of Dollars trilogy? No, that was a movie, Fistful of Dollars. Anyways, yeah, it was the Americans, or the Italians rather, that ripped off Kurosawa. Seven Samurai, yeah. I watched the Takashi Miike remake of Seven Samurai, which was kind of alright. I should just go back and watch all of those. Yeah, only the first one is a ripoff, but I think like the Mexican standoff with the church bell, and then that's literally from samurai movies where they would just sit there and wait and slice, right? That the whole idea of the Mexican standoff comes from Kurosawa. Sergio Leone purposely ripped off samurai films that ripped off old TV shows. Okay. You know what's interesting that I saw recently? You know, if we're talking about like influence and rip-offs and whatever you want to call it, you know how like Mickey Mouse has like the two black ears, but when he turns his head, it stays the same, right? Then you had that the first manga, what was his name again? Not Otomo, what was the guy again? Rocket Boy? Fuck, I really forget. Rocket Boy? What the fuck was that guy called again? The manga guy, the first manga? Astro Boy. So I was looking at this. I was thinking about this, and I was like, did somebody else come up with this? And somebody else already did come up with it. So you have... Oh, man. Where's the image? Yeah, look. You have Mickey Mouse. They rip off Mickey Mouse, but instead of two circles, it's 2 points, because when Astro Boy turns his head, it always stays like this. And then Goku, he also has one of those uncanny, weird, abstract hairstyles. Whenever he turns his head, it's always the same. So Goku is basically derivative of Mickey Mouse. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that interesting? Okay, I'm going to take a big, fat, hot piss real quick, okay, guys? I need to really, really piss, and I'll drink another beer with you guys. What is this? Deutschland! Deutschland?
das Herz in Flammen.
Now, if you want to take a pass, you go ahead and take it. You done this shit before, motherfucker. But don't you dare pretend that that shit is courage. Don't you dare. That's some weak-ass, fake-ass, pussy-ass shit. And you keep playing pussy around here, you're gonna get fucked.
Don't try to hide it, we don't know your lies. You're a weak motherfucker, I'll be your device. Just waiting for the day when you're fucking out, there's a price you'll have to pay. You ain't about shit, you're just fucking shot. Bitch, your fucking ass, half dead is how you look. And a fucking
Whoops! I was talking without my microphone being on. Whoopsie daisies. What time is it? 7 p.m. Holy fuck. I've been streaming all day long. Isn't that crazy? What a waste of time, huh, guys? Woo! Another beer. How are my little guys doing out here? Who needs sleep when he's on the grind? Oh yeah, Chris, don't you dare. Chris, if you go to sleep, this whole stream falls apart. Chris, I'm talking to you directly right now. Like Chris is like half drunk in his bed. Chris, don't go to sleep. There's still time. There's still time. Oh! Liz is here. It's 2:40. Wait, Liz, you just got up at 3 a.m.? Yeah, Liz, you need to start gloving maybe, just like Chris. Liz and Chris, gloving it up. Is this something we can watch? Post something in the show prep. We're just chilling. We had a big interview today with Roland of the Great Rebellion game. Go check. Liz, do you even understand that I've been streaming all day long? You've missed all of it. I did a big stream with Ethan Van Sciver today for 4 hours. I did a great big interview with the Great Rebellion guys. Isn't that crazy? Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry about that. Let's just keep going through our little TL here. I'm really getting drunk right now. I'm just debating whether or not I should just go completely full blown, nuts style, bonkers. Sven watched 2 hours of Mark Dice. Liz, who's Mark Dice? Shut the fuck up.
And a half foot long and weighs just as much as me, but he's no match for that.
Yeah, when I was in a little villa a couple of weeks ago, like dude, after the Butch Killigan thing, when was that? Like a week ago? We had a snake. There's like a pit where you can sit in. Let me see if you can see this. Did it make a video of this? Let me show this. There was a fucking snake You know what I did? I went to bed. I was like, all right, I'm going to go to bed. See you guys later. Can I find this? Do I have a video of that? Let me see real quick. How can I see like my history again? View archive. Let me see. Maybe I have a video of that. Oh, by the way, look at this. Yeah, I saw monkeys the other day. Are you guys following my Instagram? Like, if you want to see like my day-to-day weird stuff that I encounter here in Bali, you got to follow my Instagram. Go check that out, okay? SVENSTOFFELS, but the O is a 0. So Sven SD0FFELS. Go check that out. Look, we got like I found like monkeys and stuff hanging out. Look at this. I went out here for a little dinner. Isn't that nice? This was really cool. It was called an art place where artists hang out. It's really far from where I live though. Check it out. Look how cool that is. Chris, when are you coming out? I need Chris over here to be my friend because I have no friends here. Oh, yeah, this. Oh, look, this was our villa and there was a snake in the pit. We stayed here for 2 days after Butch Killigan to celebrate. Oh, that's me and my wife. All right, next. Oh yeah, we were having dinner here next to the rice fields. Where is it? Bali, Indonesia. That's where I live right now, guys. Look at this. Look how fucking sick this is. Look at this. Oh yeah, look. There was a big lizard above our fucking dinner table. Look. Look at this disgusting thing. Ugh. There were stinky women sitting across from us. Look. This is the type. This is like Ukrainian influencers. That's what you see here a lot. Like Russians, Ukrainians, and Australians. Right? Australians are more like the white trashy drinking type of guys. They're like watching the soccer game, getting into fights. But you see like a lot of these Botox, like duck-faced, like Ukrainian women, like You see a lot of those, you know. Yeah, that guy, isn't that nuts?
Only 23.
Oh, that was it. Wait, I don't have the snake? Alright, this is where we were sitting. Look how beautiful it is! Chris, are you coming? Chris! Wake up! Who's coming? We're gonna start a compound. You know what happened, by the way? My wife was telling me they rolled up. So there's other people that are having the same idea that I have. Because what you can do here, you can buy up real estate, and you can basically, because there's so much empty land here, you can buy up real estate and basically create your own town with its own fenced off area. You know, and it's going to be called like Epic Town or whatever the fuck you want to call it, okay? And you'll have your own town. But a bunch of these towns are being rolled up. There was a town which was doing like, it had like a meth lab. And I asked my wife, what type of people were it? And my wife was like, they were Americans. And I said, what kind of Americans? It was like a group of 6 people, and there were 3 African Americans involved. They were running a drug lab over here. And you know what happens when you have a drug? When you even have like a little baggie of drug, drugs over here in Indonesia. Death penalty. So they all get the death penalty. And another thing that happens is this: Indonesia doesn't have great relations with the United States. There's something that happened with like a military base. Like Indonesia doesn't have U.S. military bases. We're just kind of based. Which means there's not a lot of Israeli influence. And this is what happened. The United States asked them, hey, can you please send us our N-words? Because we can prosecute them and give them like a cushiony little sentence. And Indonesia goes, nope, we're going to fucking kill them. Hell yeah. Hell yes. I'm all for murdering people who smoke weed and meth. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got Azrakul here. Something, my nigga. Mike Hundy's, look, I love Mike Hundy. Wants to talk about comics. But I can't really follow his train of thought right now. He's just going too fast. Come on, Sven, be cool, dude. No. I'm all for murdering. Like, if you want to come here and buy up all the land and create your own villages, that's fine by me if you're white and stuff like that, you know. But if you want to come here and create your own village and then have like your own security and shit, and then you're gonna start creating meth labs, because that's the thing here, dude. There is no drugs here. It's technically a third world country. Now, I've been in many countries. I've been in the United States. I've been in Eastern Europe. I've been everywhere, okay? They call this a third world country, but for me, for a guy like me living here, I'm on permanent vacation when I'm not working. And yeah, I don't want to have a bunch of black drug dealers ruin the population here and making them go to like fucking a life of crime. So yeah. There's some benefits to like Sharia law. And look, Indonesia basically is like a Muslim. They have separation of church and state, but they're Muslim. But then so Bali, where I'm at, is basically under that law, but Bali itself is not Muslim. Everybody here is like Hindu and chill. It's like a hippie island, basically. Everybody's fucking chilling. Isn't weed legal there? No, it's not. If you get caught with weed, they'll kill you. You literally get the death penalty. Which rules. So if you're addicted to weed, you're not welcome here. Now you can get addicted to like coconut booze, snake blood liquor. You can get like addicted to like banana stuff. I don't know, but I don't know if you get the death penalty for weed. By the way, I'm not sure about that. Seems a little too much, maybe. I'm for it, even if they want to do that. Kill them all. Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, so there's this thing here. There's like the Gili. There's like islands off the shore that you can go to, and they're basically lawless. But here's the thing. There's not even. It seems a little excessive. Why not? Look, I'm not saying the whole world needs to operate like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like the king of the world, but I don't mind that that's the rule here. Kill them all. Look, I'm a nationalist, even if I'm even a fucking Balinese nationalist. I'm like, listen, guys, stick up for your own. Like, don't let them in here. I would say if I would run for Balinese office, I'd take my eyes back like this and go, I'd say, yeah, no more Russians in here, no more Ukrainians. Get rid of them. And yeah, kill all meth lab. Kill all the meth. Yes, I'm for that. Yes, kill all meth lab dealers. You're against that? Yeah, kill them all. No, the Dutch need to listen. We kind of need to come back here and show them. Look, they need to kind of show us the appreciation. We built the infrastructure here. We showed them how to sell their coffee beans and stuff like that. They need to sort of like. By the way, I said I went to a Indonesian wedding a couple of weeks ago. If you guys remember that, is there a video of that?
Only.
Oh, it is. This was during the Indonesian wedding.
Huff it in the center while I ride on spokes. Keep that wing over the wheel, cause when I ride out.
Is there more?
On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway.
Oh, that's it, I guess. Oh no, I don't have video of that. Do I?
Okane kasegu, orera wa star. Okane kasegu, watashi wa star.
Anyways, so my wife has a cousin who killed a guy at some point. Look, by the way, she has literally like 100 cousins. Okay, these families are huge. There was 1,000 people at this wedding. Okay, her cousin's wedding. And we were sitting in the car driving us back to like some mall where me and my wife were just going to hang out a little bit before we had to catch our flight back to Bali because this was in Jakarta. And I'm sitting in the car and they're like making jokes like, I'm like, what's he saying? Yeah, what's this white boy doing here? And I said, yeah, I'm here to reclaim what's mine, you filthy fucking animals. You know, and they're like, oh, and this is literally a guy that killed somebody. And was in prison for murdering somebody. And I was like, listen, this place is mine, and you should probably just say thank you. You're welcome. I'm like, you're welcome. I'm like, translate it? You're welcome. You're welcome. They appreciate something like that. They appreciate a good sense of humor over here, I feel. Like, if you're a little cucked bitch, they sniff that out. They sniff out a little cuck bitch-ass faggot. Now, yes, I am here to reclaim what's mine. Humor. I love TK. Yeah, a little bit of humor, you know. It's like I told that story when I came here, and the first thing my wife had me do was, this was during Ramadan. I had to go to world's hugest fucking cemetery, because if you guys don't know, Muslims, they like to bury themselves into the floor, into the ground, and you're not allowed to dig them up. So in Europe, and probably the same thing in the United States, you get buried, and you know, you basically rent the plot in the cemetery, and then they dig up your fucking bones in 50 years, they throw you in the garbage. And then they put another fucking feller in the ground. And there's been a big debate about that, by the way, with the increase in like Islamic people into the Netherlands. They're like, no, we need permanent plots, because what happens now, if a Muslim dies in the Netherlands, you guys might not know this, after they die, they're going to be shipped back to the country of origins to be buried. Now, why is that? Because there's no permanent graves in the Netherlands. Because basically, if you would allow that, the Netherlands is not a big country. Within 4 generations, the Netherlands would be one big cemetery, basically. So it basically can't happen. Now, your wife doesn't do Ramadan, does she? No, she's not. Like, modern women here, they don't. Like, my wife speaks fluent English. She's based. She knows. They don't. It's like this. It's similar to how I'm a Catholic, basically. But the family, you know, it's like Christmas here. Ramadan is like Christmas. Like if we're planning to go to the Netherlands, and then my wife will celebrate Christmas with us. You know what I'm saying? So I got there. I had to go to the world's biggest cemetery, and I walked in through the. And by the way, I'm the only white guy. Now I'm 5'10", okay, which is average height, but I'm like this much taller than everybody else over there. Okay, I'm stick out above the crowd over there. I'm confused. You're Catholic? No, I'm not fucking Catholic. I don't give a shit. It's all nonsense. But yes, I was brought up Catholic. You know what I'm saying? I have 3 middle names. Catholic middle names. You understand? 510 Gigamoger, yeah. So I'm a... Wait, I want to really now hone in on Ganga Gogo. What are you confused about? What did you think I was? He's like, I'm confused. You're Catholic? No, I was brought up Catholic, but I'm basically... I'm like an agnostic, I guess. I don't know what you'd call me. Well, we're going to wait for Ganga Gogo. I need to know what his confusion is. Because earlier you were saying all Christianity was Edom and Abrahamic, and you implied that was bad. Yeah, I do think that. I think like Abrahamic prophecy is probably a bunch of garbage. I do think there's a God. I think there's evidence of creation, but I think believing in God doesn't require you to rally behind one of the teams, like a football jersey where you beat up each other over it. And I especially don't think you should be wearing the Star of David shirt when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? Did you do the whole Catholic initiation ritual? What do you mean? Like when I was a little baby, they dipped my head in a little bit of water? You know what? I couldn't do much about that because I was a little baby. Now, at least I have my fucking foreskin. Do you? Do you have your cockskin? Do you have it? Number 1, whatever, says Ganga Gogo. What does that mean? What is your problem, Ganga Gogo? What? Just communicate with me. Are you a woman? What do you need to know? Just be straightforward with me. What's your problem? Sven, how would you start jig maxing? I've been doing a jig the whole stream. What could I do more? What do you need to cock launch? Yeah. 1 in the chat if you have your foreskin. 2 in the chat if you lost it during some Abrahamic ritual. Ganga Gogo. How's your foreskin doing? Okay, Jast still has his foreskin. Oh, cock launch. Poor dude. Oh, Mikey. All right, a lot of guys still have their skin intact. That's good. You didn't enter the covenant officially. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Human F beings is 2, but I had no say in them. I know. Sorry, dude. Sorry about that. Ganga Gogo says, it means I will ignore your religious takes and focus on the things I like about you. So you're like a Christian or something? What are you talking about? Look. Here's the thing. Ganga Gogo is like a woman where I need to just, okay, what is it? What do you need? What's the problem? So you thought that you were listening to me being critical of Abrahamic religions. Then you asked me, wait, you're a Catholic? Like it's some kind of a shock. I said, well, I was raised Catholic, but that's not really my philosophy. And they're like, whoa. What's the fucking problem? Can you just communicate like a man, please? Just say what you want to say, my nigga. And yeah, we're not going to agree on all things probably across the board, which means there's a highly likelihood of you being wrong. Wewe Gombel took my foreskin. Yeah, Ganga Gogo, are you a Catholic? We're waiting for a Ganga Gogo. I just don't understand. Like, I feel like I've been pretty clear about my standings on things. Yeah, I don't believe in ancient doomsday cults. Go listen to the stream that I did with Gnostic Informant. or go listen to Stream Edit with Adam Green. If you're looking forward to the end of the world because your Jewish Messiah might come back to take care of your problems, it's probably that's probably not a great thing. Oh yeah, I was drawing the comparison. She's Muslim, like I'm Catholic. It's a non-factor. Ganga Go says, I don't like your take on Christianity. It assumes that for the last 2,000 years, the greatest minds of humanity all missed something until a few guys on the internet figured, well, I think you're missing something because for the last 2,000 years, the greatest minds of humanity didn't come to the Christianity conclusion, okay? They absorbed the greatest minds. They absorbed Plato. They absorbed Hermeticism. They absorbed all of that. They even absorbed paganism, okay? It's season 17, and they just they're just continuing on the foot, on the path that was laid out before them. They absorbed that stuff. They absorbed that knowledge. They absorbed Plato. You understand what I'm saying? It seems like you might have to be a little bit more critical about your own doctrine and look at it. But listen, it's not that I hate Christians or anything like that. Not at all. But you just have it wrong. If you think that the greatest minds of humanity missed something until the internet, it's not what it's about at all. Yes, Christianity is Judeo-Platonism. Now, was Plato a Christian? No, he wasn't. The CB experiment says, I'm not a practicing Catholic, but I am confirmed. I like the tradition of it all. Yeah, but what parts of the tradition do you like? Maybe those are the pagan traditions that were usurped and absorbed by the Catholic Church. Maybe those are the parts that you like. And if you like a guy with a beard to be your idol, maybe Odin would have also sufficed. It's hard to deny Christianity changed the path of Europeans. I don't like the path we're on. Maybe the original path was worse. Yeah, that's hard to tell. That's almost impossible to tell. But yeah, it does seem like, look, and I'm kind of more like a Jungian when it comes to that stuff. I think it all stems from, it's as above, so below. Sorry, oh my God, it's satanic, but what happens in our brains and the way our neural network is laid out is gets projected onto the outside world as well. And Jung, he looked at the eons, right? So you have the eon of Christ, which was the fish. Turn the other cheek. Before that, it was Mars. It was ruled by Mars, the war god. And now the next eon we're entering is Aquarius, which some people theorize is going to be dictated by some kind of an AI overlord rather than Christ. The CB expresses, why are you telling me off, Sven? I don't believe Jesus ever existed. I'm not telling you off. I'm not telling you off at all, dude. You're a cool guy. I love you. Give me a little kiss. Plato would have been very annoyed with modern Christians, probably. How do we get on this whole thing? Gungungu says, well, can you at least interview an authority on Catholicism, who would have answers on these concerns you have? It seems like you only look into biased sources now. Sure, I would, sure. If you can recommend somebody who would like to talk to me about this stuff. Now, by the way, again, I'm not even like into this theology debate. That's not really even my thing. Now, I know a little bit about it because it's just a pressing matter. But to me, it's not even that interesting because. But I would. I can have a Catholic on to talk to me about this stuff. Yeah, this country was founded by the NWO. Theology is complicated, not a child's play thing. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But again, I look at it from a Jungian perspective that makes the most sense to me. And I've talked to people who are like born again Christians, and they told me stuff like, yeah, and listen, you just need to give your troubles to Christ, and Christ will take care of it, all this stuff, right? And it just seems like a bunch of gobbledygook to me. Look, sorry to be a blasphemer, but it just doesn't connect with me, okay? It doesn't connect with me. I can't find Christ. I don't know where he is. Where am I supposed to look? Oh, in my heart. He's here. I haven't heard from him. Oh, I'm lost. I guess I'm lost. You know, stuff like that. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. It's a bunch of fucking garbage. It's a bunch of gobbledygook nonsense. Commie garbage. Yeah, what officially approved Catholic authority is going to come on SVENSTREAMS? You know, they should, though. They need to talk to me and try to make me find Christ. Yeah, right. I'm just glad they didn't cut off my fucking cock. Cut off a part of my cock to make me like part of the covenant of the Christ. Look, and I even talked to people like, okay, how do you square the fact that there were like a bunch of Sven, speaking of Catholics, how are the cats going? You know what? I'm going to ask real quick. I'm going to ask. My wife! Can I have Bobby real quick? They want to see Bobby. I talked to a bunch of people and I asked them, like, how do you jive the fact that there were a bunch of Christ prototypes? Oh, there he is. He smells like poo. Look how big this motherflopper. Look at this guy. Oh, my God. Oh, Bobby, my friend. I'm like, how do you jive the fact that you had Mithras, you had like 7 apostles and born of a virgin, all this stuff throughout history? It just seems like these narratives are being spun, and the aspects of the narrative that work, they get absorbed into it. And I'm not even saying that means it's fake. I'm saying it stems from the human mind. It's astrotheology and like psychosomatic psychology that's like having an interplay between one another. And I'm not even saying, here's the scary part. That's what I was trying to talk to with the Gnostic informant. If you look at it from the Jungian perspective, that doesn't even mean, it's not like an atheist that goes, man, come on. By the way, have you noticed how like Ricky Gervais and stuff, yeah, they shit on Christianity all day, and they'll shit on Islam a little bit, you know? But they always leave one aspect of the Abrahamic triune religion out of the limelight, out of the crosshairs, right? So that goes to show you there might be a little bit of an agenda there with those atheists, new age atheist guys. But it's even more spooky than that, guys. It's more spooky if you truly start thinking about how the mind works. And if you start meditating on as above, so below. And if you start thinking about how synchronicity events might happen, right? Synchronicity. Look up synchronicity, Jungian synchronicity. Look up those events, right? You guys would call it miracles. You guys would call it a miracle. But you can call it a synchronicity event. Now, if you then start to look into how that would work, right? is it possible for human psychology to manifest things from the subconscious into reality? And then you could even go as far as to say, which Jordan Peterson said before, Christ is the manifestation, the Word made flesh. It's thoughts made flesh, right? It's way more strange than that, and it doesn't require any Judaism. It doesn't require any scripture. Scripture's part of it, but it's not the end-all be-all, and neither is the church. Neither is the church. There is no real authority. The only authority is God. The only authority is God. And guess what? His name's not Yahweh. His name's not Yahweh. I don't know what his name is. It's probably unknowable. I'm too stupid to figure that out. And neither can you. I don't think any of us can figure that out. Now you can do some ayahuasca and go to hell. No, I think a lot of lessons are very good. You should be nice to your neighbors, be a good person. And if you're oriented towards truth, the truth, I think that's actually a force. It's like the Americandrians or whatever in Star Wars. And when you start to move away from truth, it starts biting at you. It starts consuming at you. It starts biting you. It starts eating at you. You start to rot. Your brain starts to rot. So I actually think the only thing that's worth doing is being oriented towards the truth and to speak the truth, to speak what makes sense. And that's why free speech is so important. And that's why free speech is under attack. Yeah, I don't like to talk in like terms of like Star Wars and stuff like that, but people tend to do it online. Look at this little bungo. Look at this creature. And look at this little bumbus. What a fat little blingo. He's like a rag doll. You can do whatever you want with him. Look, I'm going to put him over here real quick. Look at this guy. Is there any specific questions? He's licking my ear. What's up, dude? Yeah, they're talking about Jesus and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I just think if you conceptualize Christ as like an archetype, people go, oh, Jordan Peterson. But I don't like Jordan Peterson at all. It's like, oh, he's too afraid that he actually believes literally in this character. It's like, yeah, you'd be stupid to actually literally believe in this fucking character. You'd be fucking dumb. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And it doesn't even mean it's not real. But it means it's not literal. That's metaphysics for you there. It's way more scary and way more complex and way more fucked up than you could ever think. And that's not to say that then there's no utility in like the books and to have like most people believe in like the doctrines and just to follow that and not think about it too much. That's probably a good thing. That's probably really good, actually. But you know, for you tuning into SVENSTREAMS, you're all above average IQ. There probably is such a thing as the spiritual archetype being able to inhabit you. And I do think the Kybalion, Google it, the Kybalion, read that book. It's a very useful book. I keep talking about how you shouldn't be light-switched brained and how you should understand that good and evil aren't two separate things, they're one and the same. Check out the Kybalion. That'll teach you some practical shit. People are constantly talking about, oh, you need to do this practice, that practice. What's the practicality of all these fucking gurus? What's the practicality of that? It's just a bunch of grifts. Now I want to smoke a cigarette. Here, smoke my cigarette. Here. Put it in your mouth. It's good for you. Open up. What's the practicality? How can you use this shit in your day-to-day life? Now, I tell you this, the Kybalion has a lot of practicality in it because you learn to see the world in a non-binary. Oh, we got a super chat. I love falling asleep to Sven's sermon.
$5. I
with a
love
cat
falling
while
asleep
having
to a
an
Sven
internal panic
sermon with a
attack
cat
about my
while having an internal panic attack about my existence.
Yeah. You know, and sometimes having a little internal panic attack isn't that bad of a thing. It's a natural reaction of the body to realizing that you're finite and that there's this thing called eternity that you cannot escape. There's this thing called the eternal void that you're going to be facing one day by yourself. Doesn't matter if you have a huge family. Oh, you want to die alone? Oh, yeah, you think your kids are going to be there? You naive asshole. They're going to be doing TikTok dances next to your bed, baby. You're going to be dying alone, regardless of how many kids you have. You will die alone. And you'll enter the void. And guess what's there? You know what's in the void? Nothing. Forever. There's no Jesus. There's no heaven. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. Alone. And you're gonna sink into the nothingness. And then you're gone forever. And you know what the scariest part is? Not dying. The scariest part is forever. The scariest part is forever. That's the scariest part. Think about that. Think about forever. You know how long that's going to take? Forever? It's not going to end. But here's the thing, you're not going to experience it. You were already there. You're already gone forever. You just had a little bit of a boop, little spark. And now you're here. Now you're here. And now you have free will. And you know what you can do with free will? You can orient that towards good and truth, or bad and evil and lies. So what are you going to do? You're going to go into the office and lie a little bit because everybody else lies? And make reality a little bit worse? Or are you going to orient yourself towards truth? Oh, sorry about that little guy. He doesn't like to smoke. He'll get used to it. What are you looking at? What is he looking at? What do these things look at in the dark? They see things. All you can do is speak the truth, okay, while you're here. Well, you have a little bit of time over here. It's kind of fun. Reality is pretty cool. Okay, sorry about it. You can go. You can go. Reality is pretty fun. Right? Yeah, he said yes. Speak. No, I didn't say speak your truth. I said speak the truth. There's only one truth. Not your truth, not my truth, the truth. You know what? I think that's kind of going to be it for us, for our stream today. I've done so much fun. Yeah, I'll let you out in a second, okay, brother? Dude! Don't be ungrateful. Oh, Go check out the Ethan Van Sciver stream that I did a couple of hours ago. I was on there for 5. I've been streaming all day, guys. I'm exhausted. This was also like a 4-hour stream. It's about enough. I'm going to thank everybody for hanging out with me, and we're going to do it again. I think Saturday, I'm going to do the stream with John K. Respecter. Dude, what's your problem? Come on. Come. Now he wants to come back all of a sudden. All right. That's about it. Thank you guys so much. Please hit that bell notification, all that stuff. I might stream again to Rumble as well. What do we tune out with? What should we do? We're going to do a little bit of... we're going to do what was it? This? What is this? That's it. Guys, see you later. Goodbye. Thank you. Where's the end stream? Ow. Go get The Great Rebellion on Steam. Go get The Great Rebellion. Hey, go buy that game, The Great Rebellion. Hey, go buy The Great Rebellion.